we have a really, really, really major epidemic of malnutrition. A lot of us are living off of work, and we're not living off of the rules of being a human. And so many of us are severely under eating.
And also understand, this goes back to the knowledge, how we've been conditioned and programmed for certain palates.
Yes, and that's why I always say, like, when it comes to discipline, there isn't a way to discipline yourself out of someone preying on you, especially if you don't know. And so that's why we have to have patience with ourselves, because there are really, really intelligent marketers out there. I really believe in getting knowledge. When you learn where to get your nutrients from, you will realize that it's actually not expensive.
How can someone lose belly fat?
So when it comes to belly fat, right? When it comes to fat loss, period, the goal is...
Today's guest, Kenisha Brockington, also known as Tory, also known as hip-hop's personal trainer, is a powerhouse who turned personal adversity into a mission to transform lives. Combining her love for hip-hop and health, she inspires artists and busy professional people to prioritize their well-being. And she's not just talk. She went from 220 pounds to 160 pounds. So she definitely knows what she's doing. Please welcome our guest, Tory. Peace and power, sis.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that intro. That might have been the best intro I had for me.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
I'm honored, and you deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk about your journey. You went from 220 pounds to 160. What sparked you becoming more healthy, and how are you to stay consistent with your health?
Yeah. So what sparked it, actually, when I was 5 years old, I used to ask myself all the time, like, am I going to be big on my life? Am I going to be big on my life? Like, I thought that was normal. Like, I thought that if you were overweight, like, that's just you. Like, that's how you were going to be your whole life. And obviously, that was a kid mind frame. And then I got older. But I didn't know that that was actually what propelled my journey when I turned 21. And around 20, my dad passed away from a heart attack. And so I said, you know what? Like, when I finish mourning, like, I literally said this, when I finish mourning, I'm going to make a difference, because I didn't want, like, my father's value to go to waste, because he was always telling me all these different things, all these different lessons. And I was like, you know what? It's my job to be better. And I felt like me being the best person, like, as far as what I felt was a low point of myself, which was my weight, because it was bothering me since 5 years old. And I just decided that it was time to make a difference. And so I used that pain that I went through, seeing my dad have a heart attack, to change. And now it's part of my life.
Wow. First and foremost, I want to say rest in power to your pop.
Thank you.
I know he has been a huge influence and inspiration in your life, and we'll definitely get into that a little bit more.
Yes.
How have you been able to stay consistent? You know, a lot of times, especially when there's like a dramatic weight loss like that, people eventually gain the weight back or what have you. So how have you been able to strategize your life in a way where you have kept the weight off?
Yeah. I think just my brain being able to see the difference in, like, how I believe in myself, and actually wearing clothes that I really want to wear. Like, that was a big thing too. In high school, I'm like a fashion head. Like, I love clothes. And so I really wanted to always wear clothes that, like, was things that I like, not things that just came in my size. And so for me, once I actually lost the weight, I saw, like, how confident I was, how I believed in myself differently, how I went after goals, and I felt better and I thought better. I responded to people better, responded to situations in my life better. And so the consistency was just because, you know, I loved the difference as far as how I was when I was overweight and how I was the new me. And the new me just trumped the old version of myself. And so I think, like, we have to go back and forth sometimes to get a little bit better, like, over the years. But just having that understanding of, when I'm doing these things, this is how I feel, and that's where I want to stay as much as possible. So that's what keeps my consistency, is staying in that room of feeling good, attacking my goals, reaching them, learning, and attacking it from an organic space of energy and an organic space of love. Not just saying I love myself or making myself say I love the way I look and I don't. I really want to believe what I see and what I think about myself. And so that consistency, that's where it comes from. I like that organic feeling of becoming who I want to be and who I want to be. And I want to stay in that frame.
Yeah, I love that. There's so many people that struggle with self-esteem.
Yeah.
What words of encouragement, and I know it's not connected to just weight, because you got skinny people that struggle with self-esteem.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So I know you used health and exercise and working out as your portal out of your self-esteem issues. But what advice would you offer anybody who's struggling with self-esteem?
Yeah, I would. Remember that account when you was like self-esteem, that's got something to do with yourself. But no, that was a hilarious joke to me. But to me, I feel like what you feel about yourself, you should do something about it. Like, even if you don't know what you want to do or you don't know how to do it, but you know, like, okay, I don't like this about myself, or I feel at a weak point, I think that we should, at the minimum, explore where that came from. Is it even a true thought? And if it is a true thought, is it your original thought? Is it something that somebody put on you when you were a little kid, or even as an adult from, commercials? Just explore it first and then find a way to go after it, or just allow it to say, you know what, I have a problem with that, but I'm okay with that. Like, however I need to change is how it's going to be. And I think that just even opening up that space to allowing it to come in by just saying, you know what, I don't like my weight, but I am going to do something about it. And that's it. Not more so draining in the factor of I don't like how I look. And then now the thought is, I'm unworthy, or I'm ugly, or, I don't like my belly. If you don't like certain things, we do need to address it, or at least acknowledge it, so we can either go after it or allow the spacing so that it can come to us, whether it be help or whether it be another person that's, hey, my friend does training. And so I think that allowing ourselves to just acknowledge it gives the spacing for it to come to us, or for you to focus on finding out what to do about that situation. Because I think that it's important to fix the issues that we have within ourselves, because if we leave them there, they will show up in other areas.
Yeah.
They will absolutely show up in other areas. And the thing is that when it shows up, because we're ignoring it, it won't be in a space where you want it to be. It will be in a space that is 10 times worse and will cause other issues down the line. Kind of like if you ignore a problem in your car. Something really small will be a huge problem if you ignore a problem in your car, if you ignore a problem in your house. And so if we have a problem within, we have to address it. Even if you just say, let me go look at how much it'll cost me to fix this part of my car. Let me go look at where that thought came from. So just addressing it, acknowledging it, either so you can go ahead and attack it, or allow the spacing to come in where someone or something else can guide you to get that area situated in some form.
You know what I love about what you're saying too, that it highlights the fact that, number one, it's very empowering, because I don't believe in a victim mentality. I believe that we all have the power to do something.
Absolutely.
And what I always say is, at the very least, do your best.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know what to do, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have any resources, wherever you are at the moment, just do your best.
Absolutely.
Right. And the other thing about that also too is that you can't really ignore our unresolved inner conflicts.
Absolutely.
Whether it's self-esteem, whether it's self-worth, self-value, all of those things are sort of synonymous, because what happens is that you subconsciously start to attract situations and people that will force you to face it.
Absolutely.
Either way, you're going to have to face it, especially like the person you become intimate with.
Absolutely.
Your husband or your wife.
Absolutely.
Right? If you have self-esteem issues, you will attract someone that is going to expound on that, or maybe even take advantage. Sometimes people get fortunate and they find somebody that actually wants to build them up. Yeah. Right? But what I'm saying is that most of the times you're going to attract something that's going to force you to look at it. And the self-reflecting piece is one of the reasons why I am who I am today. Like, you got to look at yourself and say, this is working, this isn't working, this is what I feel about this, and this is what I feel about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part. It's part of life. Like, if we don't have things to work on, what makes life will be boring, So that's what gives us something to do. Right. Fixing our internal problems gives us things to do. And it also gives us lessons for other people. It's not just about you.
And it's how we evolve. Like, literally facing challenges in our lives is how we become better.
Yes.
And I love what you said, that it affects all areas.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like a car.
Right.
Ignore something small in your car.
It'll definitely get worse.
Even like a little crack in the windshield.
Yeah.
Don't fix that little crack in the windshield. It will be.
Wake up one
and
morning.
You won't even see. You won't even know. It'll just with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you wake up one morning, that crack will be the whole windshield.
Yeah. So same thing.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you mentioned when your pops returned to the essence, how you used your pain.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And it fueled your progress.
Mm-hmm.
That is so powerful. I want to say, first and foremost, what makes you different? What gave you that outlook to even be able to do that? And I'm asking because so many people who deal with tragic circumstances, they get so consumed by it. And I know you did mention, that you were consumed at one time.
Yeah.
But they get so consumed by it, and they just get deeper down the the whole
I see that all the
of
time.
emotions and whatnot, depression and
Yeah.
everything else, and mental health issues. But you used it as a catalyst.
Yeah, and I said it out loud. Like not only did I just use it like subconsciously, I knew that when I finish mourning, I'm using this energy to. I literally remember saying it out loud. But you know what it was? I had a blessed life to live with both of my parents the entire time. And so for me, what it really was I had like a really, even living with my dad, we went through a spacing of really, really bad times in the home. Meaning just me viewing things differently from a undeveloped mind as a teenager, viewing certain things that my dad did that I just didn't agree with. Nothing to me harmful, but just in the sense that I thought that he could have done better. And so as a teenager, I think you start to get your own thoughts mixed on, and then you start to think you know everything as a teenager, not even on purpose, but you just do. And I realized that by the time I got around 20, that I was wrong about a lot of the thoughts that I had about my dad. And so we had a very, very, very deep conversation because I got over the anger that I had for him, because it was basically like points in times where he couldn't work, and I thought he was being lazy, but I didn't really realize what Black men go through, and him not being able to keep certain jobs was not his fault, and I thought that it was, because I would see my mom going to work but not him. And so I had a little bit of resentment until I got older and I got to see like, oh, this is really what happens to Black men when they have education and when they actually fight for justice and then they actually try to make a living. Like, this is a thing. And so I never expressed that to him. I just acted different. So instead of acting like a little bit standoffish or a little rude, I just changed my attitude. But, sometimes when we change our attitude, other people don't know that. Like, you can forgive someone and that person may not even know that you forgive them. And so what really happened was maybe about 2 weeks before he passed, I remember it was me, my sister, my uncle, and my dad. And we were in the house and we just had this argument, and then it turned into a conversation. And I got every single thing out. And we had a very, very good understanding of everything. And I actually told him what I didn't like and I gave him advice on what he should do. And he actually took it. And then 2 weeks after he passed. And so I was sad. I was definitely sad for sure. But when I first found out that my dad passed, I was like, the first thing I thought was, oh, I'm so thankful I said everything I was supposed to say. And this man lived with me, like, the whole time. So I think that because of that situation, I felt like I owed him. Like, I owed him and I owed whoever's coming up after me to be better. And so because of that conversation 2 weeks before he passed, that's why I was able to just transition and use that, because I was thankful. And I don't really know how I would have took that if I didn't tell my dad everything. I didn't have nothing on the table that he didn't understand before he left. And now that also taught me, like, any type of beefs that I have with anybody, I close them up. I close them. I do not leave anything open because I learned, like, that feeling was just, imagine like someone close to you passing, you just say, thank God. Like, that was what I thought. Not because of the passing. I was just thankful that I said what I needed to say to my dad. And then after that was the mourning and realizing. And so I was like, okay, I will never, have any type of open beef. I don't care who it is with loved ones. Like if we have an argument, like I'm gonna reach out to you a week or two or something. I'm never gonna leave it alone. So that's what made my transition different, and that's what made me look at huge losses completely different from that experience right there.
Wow. That's such a powerful testimony on so many levels. Like what I got from that as someone who has teenagers and and a daughter that's 25, 21, you gave me or taught me right now that as a parent, I also need to have compassion when my children don't understand. Like there's really a view that they have and they can't help but have that view,
Yes.
right? And obviously I had that too as well, right? But also we as parents, right, need to have compassion for ourselves
Absolutely.
and the way that we may or may do, like we're all striving to do our best. And then the other flip side of that too is that children need to have compassion for their parents.
Yes.
Throughout all of it, because
Yes.
you may see your parents do something a certain way, but you don't understand. You're not there yet. And it might be a different time, or like you said, since he's a man, you were a woman, right? I remember you reminded me of what a professor, Parsha Hobson from the X-ray program at PCC in Patterson. She once told me that the revolutionary struggle between men and women are different.
Completely
Right?
different.
And what's happening is we are bickering because of the circumstance and not understanding that the struggle is just different.
Even getting money,
Yeah.
women's way of getting money is, and we can make the same income. The struggle is completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
One thing that I noticed, I'm someone who've read over 400 books. I'm a podcaster, so I have conversations about personal development and success a lot. And there seems to be something very consistent with people who are successful and overcome struggle. And that's this inner desire to want to be better.
Yes.
And you mentioned it too. Where did that inner desire come from? I know it was sparked by some things, but it seemed like it was in the background either way.
Yeah.
Like you knew there was a better you that existed. How did you know?
I think we all know. That this is what I should be doing. Like with every single minute of our day, like, is this what I should be doing with my time? So I think that I've always known. I think everybody knows what they should be doing. I just think that we don't channel it the correct way, or we may not have the correct diet or the correct upbringing, or I think that a lot of times how we attack our goals also deals with how you trust your parents. And so I gained trust in my dad completely, because not only did I actually forgot about this part, but 2 weeks before it, when we had the argument, during the argument and into the conversation, because it turned into argument to a conversation, I got into like trouble for like the first time in my life, and my dad got me out of that trouble without a lawyer, and I just had to listen to him and trust him, and that was the most scariest thing. So in that month of December, I was going through like a legal situation, and then losing my dad, and I lost my dad and had to remember what he told me, because I still had to go through the weeks, and I'm going to the courthouse and they telling me all this stuff. I'm like, I just gotta trust my dad. I couldn't even talk to him. And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I think that I have the ability to trust myself, because I absolutely trust my dad. I absolutely trust my mom. And so it gives me the opportunity to feel what I need to feel and trust myself that, oh, that is a correct thought. I do need to do that, because I see my parents not only doing what they need to do, because I think we grow up seeing our parents doing what they need to do, but we don't trust them. We love them too, but you can still not trust your parents. And I think that I have the ability, or some people may have the ability, to do it a little bit more than others, simply just because of trust within themselves. A lot of times comes from, if we trust and love and respect and honor our parents. Sometimes we love and respect our parents, but we don't trust them. And when I say trust, I just mean sometimes just simply trusting the decisions that they make. Where if you think like, if you have a single mom and maybe she doesn't have good choices in men, or good choices in her money, or good choices. And so I've seen my parents do things that I specifically didn't agree with, but I trust my mom. I trust my dad. And I think that that plays a major role in me being able to have the fire and being able to go and do it. Because when you have the fire, you also have to trust that that's a true thought. And you also have to trust that you can actually go ahead and make a change. And so I think that just naturally my trust and my push comes from just being able to trust my parents. I think that we don't talk about that enough. We love, we have respect, and sometimes some of us don't have that. And so that has been a major reason in why I was able to have that fire and not only just light the fire, but make the light an actual flame and move with it.
Let me ask you that trust factor that you have,
Mhm.
that strength that you have in trusting yourself,
Mhm.
and that being sparked by your parents and whatnot.
Mhm.
Has it spilled over into you taking positive risks, meaning having faith? Because I realize, like, I'm someone who actually lacks trust. Like,
Mhm.
nobody knows, man, unless I tell you, obviously, how
Mhm.
much internally I don't trust. I don't trust people.
Mhm.
I don't trust people are gonna come through. Eventually, people earn that.
Mhm.
I don't trust myself
Mhm.
sometimes. I struggle with self-doubt a lot.
Mhm.
You know, also too, me growing up the way I grew up, I grew up
Mhm.
rough neighborhood. So I seen a lot, been through a lot, experienced pain at a very young age.
Mhm.
I think that just sort of,
It makes a difference.
I don't want to say taught me, showed me
Mhm.
that this world is a scary place
Yeah.
and that I need to be on my P's and Q's. But I see that it has spilled over into other areas in my life.
Absolutely.
Even like, in the beginning of my relationship with my wife,
Mhm.
connecting to her,
Mhm.
in a certain way, just connecting with anyone, right? Unless you come from where I come from
Mhm.
and I knew you were solid, then I got trust issues, right? So has that trust also cultivated you in a way where you just have faith in life?
Yeah, because now that you speak about that, I'm just now experiencing that. I'm 35 and I'm just not like, oh, like life is serious. Like, and I'm not saying I didn't take life serious, but I didn't even know we were poor. Like, that's how much like love was in my house because I was the house that everybody came to. Like, the steps were destroyed because kids always came. Even my friends, they come and hang with my mom. Like, they go to church with my mom. I don't even go at the time, back then when they were going. But
Yeah.
and so I absolutely believe that because, like I said, at 35 now, I'm just now seeing like, oh, there is people you can't trust. There's people I have to be on my P's and Q's, and so I'm thankful because I'm glad that I had to learn that now versus learning that at a young age. I think that we are prematurely entering that stage as even as children, especially men, like the fact that boys automatically think that, oh, if once there's a man in the house, I automatically am the man in the house. And that's not true. Like, why do we have to automatically go into that mood? And even with women too, a lot of the times women grow up, they may not grow up the same as men, where it's a thing of feeling like the woman of the house. But a lot of girls are growing up being babysitters, or a lot of young girls are growing up battling or in competition with their mom. And so I think that absolutely it spills over that trust and that love and that because like I said, I really did not know. We were like, and clearly we were in poverty, but I never felt that. Like
Yeah.
I never felt like we were in poverty because, my mom and dad worked hard to keep me in a middle. I want to say, because I don't want to say, Hillside is not really like a suburban area, but it's not the hood. So I was able to live and play safely and live there the entire time. So the same friends that I had when I was 7, I had my whole entire life. And so I never had factors of mistrust until now, which is, I think, excellent because like I have people that I can just ask those questions to, and honestly, it doesn't even bother me because at this time I'm grown now, so it's like nothing you really could do. So I can't even imagine if I grew up having to figure out about like trust and worry about this and worry about that. Like I didn't. I had good grades in school. I was in honors classes, and I had a mom and dad in my house the entire time, even when I was not talking to my dad. Like I was talking to my dad. Like no man's gonna let you be in the house not talking to them.
Right.
But there was a difference in the 3-year-old me to 11-year-old me from 13-year-old me
Yeah.
to about 17, 18. But I still respected my dad in the house. I wasn't blatantly disrespectful to him, but there was just ways and things that I was answering where. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. Like,
Yeah, you're definitely blessed because when your brain is tainted, especially at a young age, when your brain is tainted, it's really tough to rewire it. And even if you do, like someone like myself, when you get triggered, when something happens in life, like it could be something that simple. Somebody said they were going to do something. When they said they were going to do it, even if you rewire your brain, you did the personal development, you've been through the therapy, it always triggers that. Like I'm telling you that from a personal experience.
I could
Like,
see that.
like I remember, we won't get it all deep into it, but I've been pistol whipped and robbed and literally left for dead, right? And years later, I found out it was a close friend of mine. You know what I mean? It was a close friend of mine that actually, he stayed in the car, but he was in the car and allowed it to happen. And, and that was my fault.
Wow.
Back then I was had some issues with alcohol, and I was walking, and it was, and I was in the hood, and they caught me slipping, had my chain on, my leather. And I found out years later when I approached somebody else that couldn't look me in the eye, and I was like, yo, what's good, bro? And he couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold it. So, just growing up, and what I'm gathering from this information too, or just, this conversation, I should say, is that now, mind you, you're in a relationship, a successful, beautiful relationship. Your husband is here now. Imagine you marry somebody like me, right? So you think, not that you think the world is roses, but you grew up in a very intact situation, not perfect.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then you get with somebody like me, who've been through some of the things that I've been through. And so you can imagine the type of relationship clashes that may happen when I'm projecting my subconscious issues on you.
Absolutely.
And then you're projecting yours or what have you on
Absolutely.
me. And this is why it's dope to really make sure that you converse well about your feelings and your experiences.
Absolutely. And you know what's so ironic about that? Because the love that like I've had in my house, because like my father is from the streets, so is my mom, and so that's still gonna be in me because they're both from the hood. So, but now it's just that you're raising me in a suburban area. But what I actually had the blessing of being able to do, which I don't know why, but like just me growing up and me being me, I guess from me playing sports and getting into hip hop and all those things, I've had a double life where I've had real friends in suburban areas, and I've had real friends in dangerous neighborhoods. And like it's so ironic that like I was allowed to go to different hoods, and I wasn't going there to hang like on some to try to get clout. People really rock with me, and they would come from different neighborhoods and come to my house because my house was like love. And so like I actually have experience in both areas because I really do have friends that are from both sides. And so I'm just thankful that I had parents that were street minded, but then also grew and then had the blessing to have me and make sure that I grew up in a neighborhood so that now I have an understanding of both. And then as I grew up, I was just I don't know, ironically, that's just happened to me. But I didn't know as a younger like child, like in my teenager years, that was for me to understand now, because now that's my actual job. And so there's so many different people from different aspects, from I'm talking addicts, and I'm talking people who's been shot or people who killed people, and they come to me for help as far as healing, as far as eating better and working out. And I've had the opportunity because I was able to go in different areas, different neighborhoods by myself, like not in groups of people, by myself. so I have no clue why that was given to me as a pass, but I'm thankful for it.
Well, real recognize real.
Facts.
And salute to your parents for elevating and raising their children the way they did.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And still staying solid to their roots, but understanding that, they could elevate at the same time.
Yep.
The way we first met, you were training a class, and I remember seeing you, and I was like, man, this young sister is commanding that fitness class. Let me be clear. It was an all-women's fitness class, and you were just doing your thing. How did you develop your entrepreneur spirit and your entrepreneur desires.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Actually, what's crazy is I don't have entrepreneur spirit and I don't have entrepreneur like thoughts. It's just what happened was it's just that like after understanding how to take care of myself as a woman and like sleeping when I want to, eating when I want to, eating real food, and I was like, oh, I have to work for myself because like it's you can't stay healthy in most jobs. Like they don't they don't and so that's the only reason why if America ran their companies with health in mind, I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. Like, and I'm not shading in it. I love it. But the only reason why I do it is because it allows me to take care of myself. That's it. And it allows me to keep my mental balance and well and happy minded. Like I've like the same happiness that I've had as I grew up is the same happiness that I have right now. And so I never had to ruin that peace of mind when I was younger. I didn't want to ruin it when I was an adult. And so that is why I am a full-time entrepreneur. That's the only reason why.
I love the fact though that you like, you wanted your life to be a certain way.
Yep.
And you created that for
Yes.
yourself. You know how many of us out there, including myself, want life to be a certain way
Yes.
and are struggling to create that?
Mhm.
And man, so what are some of the choices you made to create that? So if somebody's listening right now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And they're like, man, I want to create the life that I want to live. How can they go about doing that?
I mean, there's two ways, right? And I'm gonna tell you the first way is gonna be the scariest. Okay. Just do it, right? And I'm gonna say women, because women we have a little different way of going about it. But if you're a woman, you can absolutely, and I know this is gonna sound unorthodox because it very much is. But I've learned as a woman that we don't have to grind like men. And so if you're a woman and you really do want to live the lifestyle that you want, you can absolutely drop everything you're doing and become that. And I know it's going to sound very, very, very scary because it's going to be a thing of what if and what if and what if, what if. But to be quite honest, that is honestly the easiest way because it's going to tell you what that does is give you the opportunity to fix everything that you're supposed to fix within, because then that gives you the opportunity to be able to get the blessings that you need because you're getting yourself ready for the things that you want. And a lot of times when we're doing things that we don't want to do with our time, you're never going to get the things that you want to do because you're doing stuff you don't want to do with your time. And so what people don't understand is that you already come here rich. You literally can do everything you want to do. And one of the perfect examples that I like to use is Selena. Selena's family, they literally did everything that they wanted to do. And like, even when they had to move in with their family, like the mom was still, they still was like, yo, we just rocking with it. Like, we're just rocking with this idea. And they became awesome in that area. So I'm an avid believer that if you put your time in everything that you're supposed to be doing, you will get an outcome because you don't have a choice but to. And so when I say to drop everything that you're doing to say, okay, I'm going to do this, you don't have a choice but to get out of it if you keep going. And so that's number one. It's the hardest / easiest way because it gives you open time. So now you have 100% focus on that. You have no choice but to get an A because you literally have the opportunity to do that.
You burned the boat.
Exactly. You can't.
There's no way getting back.
So I know that that's not a lot of people. So I have to be responsible in how many different type of listeners we are. So that is one way. That's been my favorite way for sure. But the other way is just creating a small amount of time. So that 100% that I was saying when you drop everything, right? If you, let's say you work a 9 to 5, right? Or you have 2 jobs or you have a full schedule. Let's just say, I don't think anybody works a 9 to 5. I think that if you work a 9 to 5, you probably work a 12 to 12 because you got to get up and then you're not. So if your body is up at 6 and you're going to bed at 7, you work a 12-hour shift. Like your body's working. I don't think we consider like your body working. Your body works all the time for you. Whether when you're asleep, it's working the whole time. So I think that some people need to put that 100% in 15 minutes every day, 20 minutes. So if you say, okay, I don't have any time. Like, I don't have any time. 20 minutes. Everybody can find 20 minutes. So if you say, I'm going to take a dedicated 20 minutes to just focus on my goal, right? Whether it is to read a book on my goal, whether it is to create, whatever the goal is, make that 20% your 100 and believe and give it as if that's your 9 to 5. And what that 20% or that 20 minutes or that 15 minutes will produce is some form of progress, which will open it up. Because just like with weight loss or just like with healthy weight gain, when you start to see the change in your body, it makes you do more. Now you like, oh, I want to learn this recipe, or I want to learn that workout. It makes you go up. And so how your body reacts to one thing, it reacts to all. So that 20%, 20 minutes, I keep saying 20%, 20 minutes or 15 minutes will allow you 30 minutes. It would allow you an hour. That hour will allow you 4 hours. That 4 hours will allow you 8 hours. The same as if a person is doing 9 to 5 in a business. They're building that business to be able to at some point take over where they don't have to work. So it works the same way. Like, it's all the same. So whether you go 100% and now you have all time, like the whole time, which that's always been the best blessing, because now you have time. Like, there's nothing richer, nothing more valuable than having time. And the thing about having free time is the best thing that pairs with open time is vulnerability. Because what I learned is when I opened up my time, it allowed my brain to think of things that I would have never thought of. Right? So a perfect example was, right, when I had to figure out, okay, I really want to do 100%, like, all my time, because I can't work. I used to cry because I was raised to work, and I cannot work these jobs. I need to drink my gallon of water. How do I drink my gallon of water? I do the bathroom. Like, I was confused, and I was like, okay. So it made me think. I'm like, oh, okay, well, shoot, I gotta get my hair done. So I would either trade. Oh, you want to train? I'll train you. Can you do my hair for me? Or can you cover these things and I'll allow you to, train with me? Or can I watch your child and, like, you do my hair, or you do, you help me with this? And that allowed me to get stuff. And I was equally fine, because I would have paid you $120. Now I'm just using my time, because that money that I would have got from work comes from the 100% of time that I have. And so now it's like, oh, I'm able to go here because I'm available. I'm able to be here because I'm available. I was learning quicker. So I don't think that any of them are wrong. It's just only wrong when you don't do what you're supposed to be doing. If you open it up and do what you're supposed to be doing, you're on point. Yeah. If you take the 20 minutes and you give your all in the 20 minutes, if you got to do half and half, where you're doing half a business, half working for someone, you're never gonna not have the negative thoughts. They will be if you choose to go all out. They'll be if you work. They'll be if you choose to not do nothing. Yeah. But you're not running away from feeling inadequate in some area of life.
Yeah, I think also too, there's, and I don't want to speak for you, but there's also lifestyle choices. Like, like, for example, I had my first child when I was 19.
Wow.
At that age, I was a drug dealer. I didn't know what I wanted to be in life, right? I learned that later. But by the time I learned, I got a few children.
Yep.
Right? So going at 100% just wasn't my reality. No excuses. Yeah. It just is what it is.
Understandable.
Unless I'm going to be a deadbeat.
Understandable. Yeah, understandable.
But your formula is how I wrote a book.
Which one? Because I
this is my book, The Power of Choice.
No, not the book, because I named the 100%. I did the half,
sorry,
20%. Okay, the 20 minutes. The 20
yeah,
minutes.
The 20,
okay,
20 the 20 minutes.
Got it.
Right,
got it.
Is how I wrote a book. A lot of people, how'd you write a book? Y'all don't have time to write a book.
Yep.
You think I work not only full time, I work weekends, I work overtime. Yep. I have a couple businesses, right? And a lot of hobbies and things that I love to do that I do with a big family. That book got written in 5-minute spurts, 10-minute spurts, 15 minutes spurts,
absolutely.
20 minutes spurts. Snap, my wife is going out this weekend. Bet, I'm with the children. All right, while they doing their thing, I'm with the keyboard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And let me say too, I always say this, gotta always big up my wife. Because if you're single, then this doesn't even apply to you. But if you are going to manifest your life in the way that you want it, and you are older, you gotta pick or choose the right partner in your life.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Not only for me, it's not only the supportive factor, but also understanding roles.
Yeah.
And just her passion for seeing me want to win.
Absolutely.
And I want to see her win. It's a
Absolutely.
win-win philosophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and also too, like she's not into like a lot of the stuff that I'm into.
Mhm.
Because if we were both into it, then who would handle the house stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's just you got to be super strategic about a lot of things. Not in like a robotic way, because you know, obviously, but people think that love is this thing where it just happens. Like you got to be strategic about love too. Don't get it
Absolutely.
twisted.
Absolutely.
You
And
know
I
what I
think if
mean?
you're single, then you still have to do a good job of picking the right people in your life. Like
Indeed.
that's just life, period. So if you are good at picking the right friends to have, you're good about picking the right older people to have, younger people to talk to, then you should be okay with picking the right partner.
Yeah.
So I think that if you have an issue picking the wrong partner, then you probably have there's other parts in your life where you have other areas where you're not picking the right things.
Selfish plug. There's power in your choices.
Yes.
I'm telling
love
you.
it,
Both
love
positive and negative. So be on point. You live by a mantra. No excuses.
Yes, I do.
You know what I mean? I
I
love
do.
that.
I do.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Graham. So I remember in high school, shout out to Raheem Graham, my high school basketball coach. I used to always if I didn't get to the play the right way, I used to always be like, I didn't get to the play because he'd be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no excuses. And I hated that because I'm like, I'm not giving you an excuse. I'm trying to tell you why. Like, I'm not even trying to. And so the reason why I live by no excuses is because there's always a reason. And so if you have an excuse, once you figure out what the excuse is, it shouldn't be used anymore. It should be changed. You either need to keep doing it because it's giving you that excuse is making you better, or the reasoning behind why you didn't do what you're supposed to do, or whatever the outcome was, whatever that excuse is, then it needs to be changed. And so the reason why I live by no excuses is because an excuse should not remain the same unless it's already, unless it's bringing you progress. But even so, as you get older, that will change at some point. So I live by no excuses because they shouldn't be like how money shouldn't be stagnant and it's a currency. Your reasonings should be changing as well. Even good ones, they change over time as well. Nothing stays the same.
When it comes to fitness and a lot of other areas, so many people have excuses.
Yes.
What's the most common excuse that you always hear?
Yeah.
And what's your wisdom or strategy to go against that excuse?
Yeah. I don't have time.
I knew that was
of course. That's number one. But what did I say earlier? You're born with time. Like that's what we're born with. Like that's our money maker is time. And like I said, same exact thing. You can either go all the way out. You can either drop everything and become better in that area as far as getting your health together. All that's going to do is power you up, and then you'll have the organic energy to build everything else you need to build anyway. Or you can do your half and half, where half your time is going to be dedicated to becoming better in fitness and eating better, and then half your time goes to everything else. What I did was go from drinking like sodas and juices to only drinking water. And that was my 20 minutes, my 20%. I didn't know that was going to be what actually started my weight loss journey. I just seen the difference in what happened when I'm just drinking only water. And so I say that to say that's that small percentage. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, once you know, you owe. So once you know what that excuse is, I don't have time, you have to identify why. That's why I didn't like when my coach, even though it was important for me to not stay with that because I got the point of that, but I always look for the meanings under things. And so I always like, why don't I like that? And I'm like, he's right about the, I don't want to hear excuses, should have been there. But I also didn't like getting cut off because I'm trying to tell you why. I'm not trying to give you an excuse. And that could have, who knows if that could have made the play better and so I like going deeper into things. And so if your excuse or your reasoning is you don't have time, it is why, so that you can change it. You should not be saying, I don't have time, and you're saying that next week or next month or next year. Yeah. It should be a change.
What I love about that too, like, so for example, like work. A lot of people use work as an excuse.
Yes.
I totally get it. Like I work overtime, weekends, all of that. But I think that one should then look to see, okay, why am I working so much?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if your current job is not paying you enough to the point where you're jeopardizing your health, then what there is to do is to take a step back and maybe learn some new skills.
Absolutely.
Go back to school.
Absolutely.
See if you have any gifts and talents. Maybe you can start a business so you can make more money and not have to work so much. You know, one of my teachers told me there's no difference between excuse, justification, or reason. You either did it or you don't.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You either did it or you do it.
Yep.
I should say, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think another thing too that stops a lot of people is that they think that they're stuck with their excuses.
Yes.
Like they don't see that there really is a way out. You just gotta work at it.
Yeah. But I gotta always bring it back. I really think that has to do with how we feel about our parents. Because when I started looking at how some of my friends who I think is stuck, or how I would see that they love their parents, but I would see that like maybe sometimes either they feel like they have to improve better, or maybe like they don't agree with how their parents think about them. And so they get confused about how to move in life just based off feeling stuck a long time ago, because that stuck is usually from something a long time ago, not from just like right now. Usually if it's right now and it's not old, it's not really a stuck thing. It's usually like something that you're just trying to figure out. But stuck means that something has been there for a while in other areas of our life. If we feel stuck, it's usually because we feel stuck in a large amount of area. If it's not, it's usually, oh, I just got a problem. But when we feel stuck, that's like something gooey that's been sitting there, or something on like when you have something in a old like a smoothie cup that you didn't clean out, and it's stuck.
It hardens
and it's stuck. That's usually old stuff. That's usually stuck. If it's a quick, it's a little, hurry up and wash this off. So I think when we feel stuck, that's an area that we gotta look at deeper.
Indeed, I totally agree too. And what you're saying makes total sense with to me about the water thing, because what I notice is that habits are never isolated. Habits always come in packages.
Yes.
So I used to live a very toxic lifestyle. I used to drink, smoke real heavy. Not knocking nobody that does that, but for me it was toxic because I allowed it to consume me.
Yeah.
But just by me doing pull-ups, push-ups, and dips, that sparked, and it wasn't an overnight thing, obvious. That sparked me wanting to eat better.
Yep.
That sparked me not wanting to drink as much. That sparked me actually, I was about to say leaving smoking alone, but really why I stopped smoking is because I got on probation. But it helped me not go back to smoking even when I got off probation. You know, so it's like habits come in a package. They're never isolated. So by you drinking more water, right, just that one little act, it sparked and brought other habits, whether you were conscious of it or not, that eventually started to take shape, take form.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at it as like spacing, right? So let's say we have a laptop, right? And you have your laptop full with your full capacity of space, but you still have a great laptop. You could do two things. You can either like clear some of it and that give you some space. You can clear all of it, or you can get a brand new laptop, and which is like clearing everything and allowing that space. So I just think that like we don't understand that willpower has a range. And so based on your time, based on your willpower that you currently have, that's gonna affect how much you can give to a new habit based on the willpower that's being drained from your prior and your current habits that you have now.
Yeah.
So it's about like creating space. Like if you have a big plate of food, like, are you going to like fill your plate all the way up and now you got that that full belly, or you can have a small plate and you're eating and now you could do more. And so it's like, how do you want to play it? Like, sometimes it's about eating a little bit less. Sometimes it's depending on the situation, and sometimes the extent of our situations is like, I'm clearing my whole plate. Like I'm starting with a brand new laptop. Some situations are so detrimental. Like my father's passing. I knew since 5. If I knew since 5 that if I was thinking about being bigger all my life, and then I had to go through my dad's death for me to clear my whole plate off, sometimes it's needed. And then sometimes it can be done in dosages, small or big. I just think it just depends. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and acknowledging what it is when you're not, that is the key. And then getting to it and making a change about that.
And also realizing that, and I know you know this as a fitness trainer, that there's a formula, there's a recipe, but not everything's a cookie cutter approach.
Absolutely.
Right. So like, because I've been working out for so long, I can work out at any time.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, but because I have knowledge of self, meaning I know myself, I can tell you that my willpower is the strongest in the morning.
Yes.
Right. So I'm going to be more successful at any hard, tough goal, working out,
Yep.
writing,
Yep.
whatever, fresh in the morning. A lot of times I don't even get on the phone in the morning. Like that's the time where I meditate, I'm reading my books, because that's the time when my brain power is the strongest.
Yeah.
At night, that's when I gotta push a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So So
nighttime is more for letting go. I believe. I think that
you think that's the natural order?
Yeah, natural order. Like I think in the morning time, or even everybody's morning's different, but I just think the first times you're waking up, I think that your brain doesn't need to just go right in.
I'll just check message. Nobody's getting my energy in the morning. That's for me.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And that allows me to then be a servant to everybody else because I gave to myself.
Absolutely.
You know, speaking of willpower, so many people talking about, I don't have discipline. True, how can I get disciplined? Tory, how can I get disciplined? What words do you have for people who say they lack or don't have or struggle with motivation and discipline?
Yeah. Okay. So one thing is we always have discipline, right? And so it's never not there. Like it's always there. And why I say that is because if you get up and you want to go get a fried fish sandwich, and you like, ooh, I got a taste for Roy's chicken and fish or whatever you like. That discipline is getting up, getting in the shower, and going there. So that's discipline. So we have it. We have motivation. It's just that you don't have it in an area that is lacking. And you just don't have it in that area.
Let's be real. Your why is not strong enough.
Absolutely. That's one. And then also the why is definitely major, but also it goes to the plate thing. Like your willpower is, we have a certain amount. So if you have to look at where it's at. You have to look at where it's draining and where it should not be so that you can give to the new area that you're trying to give it to. But then the thing about it is that then you have to also agree about how much it is, because some people want to do the clean slate and they should not be doing that. Some people want to do half and they should not be doing that. Some people need to do a small amount and they want to do a bigger amount. And so you need to know like where you should start off at, especially when it comes to working out, weight loss. Like some people, when they call my phone, men and women, we have a really, really, really major epidemic of malnutrition and minerals, vitamins, as well as in calorie intake. Like a lot of us are living off of work and we're not living off of the rules of being a human. And so many of us are severely under eating. Like severely under eating. And the difference between under eating, because then there's we have proper fasting and things like that. So I don't want to get that misconstrued. But the difference between the under eating, right? If an animal is, because most animals, they're going to eat based off what wild animals are going to eat based off what they can catch. But a lot of times they're not doing too much. Like they're going to be reserving their energy for that time. And so we're the only people who are going and not eating. And so the animals that are just playing and running around and doing that, they have their food. Like that means everything is open, everything's available. When it's not, they're focused, they're staying, everything is limited moving. It's just focusing on getting, to that meal. And so as humans, a lot of us are working, and then you have no way to replenish yourself or the knowledge of how to properly do a fast. If you're going to be skipping meals, a lot of times people are just eating whatever is available. So you're skipping meals and then you're eating cheese doodles, or you're skipping meals and you're having pizza. That's your first meal. And so we have to be very, very mindful of matching our eating and our goals when it comes to fitness and a healthy lifestyle based on the time and the careers that we have. And
yeah.
So
and not get confused with the fact that maybe because you're full, because you ate a lot, that doesn't mean you got the proper
Yes,
nutrition. You
exactly,
might have had
exactly,
consumed a lot of calories, but you're
exactly.
still malnourished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's about knowing what to do. If you are a person
And
that
having the
is,
knowledge.
yeah, and having
Yeah.
knowing what to do, having the knowledge, or having someone to teach you.
Mm.
Because if you're a person that like, and it depends on your career, because there's some, like, I have clients who are surgeons, so it's like some of them can't eat. Like they can't eat based off of like them needing to be awake or have energy because they have surgeries coming up or have to study and all these different things. So you should have a meal plan designed to keep you up, which would be mostly raw. But we live in a community or a culture where we are meat heavy. And I'm fine with meats and things like that. But it's more so just we're not a nutrient educated community
Yeah,
where we
yeah.
can know where to get those nutrients at, because you can get it from flesh or vitamins and minerals, but you should know where it's coming from. If we don't grow up knowing that, we're not taught that.
What I love about what you said too is also considering your activity level.
Yes.
You know, a lot of us are eating crazy, like a lot, and your activity level is down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
you have to really, have this knowledge about yourself, your activities. Like you said, if you have to stay up, then it doesn't make sense to eat a heavy meal at a certain
Yeah,
time.
depends.
Stuff,
Yeah. And a
whatnot.
lot of us are under eating and have a heavy stress load in the mind, because if you're going through a lot, you should be eating, in my opinion. And also it's a fact too, because like when it comes to what you do with your time, when it comes to how you eat, if you're up from 6 a.m. to 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 13 hours. You mean to tell me you only had a McDonald's sandwich, or you mean to only tell me you had coffee, or you don't know the last time you ate, and you're making your body go to work? You would be completely upset if you were in a relationship, or if anybody was to tell you, hey, go to work and work all these hours. I'm not paying you. I'm gonna pay you $20 for the whole day, and you've done a tremendous amount of work. You will be upset if somebody underpaid you. So why are you giving your body, how can I put this, an undervalue in nutrients? Like, how can you not give yourself what you actually?
You got to replenish it. Just
Yes,
like
absolutely.
you use the analogy of a car, right? We use our car, we got to put gas in it, eventually change the oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like replenishing your body. We're not even gonna talk about how people not resting,
Yeah,
including
and then on
myself.
top,
I definitely know I don't rest properly.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
we
so,
don't even talk
and
about
even
that.
even the 20, sometimes like there's women, and I would say women because mostly women come on phone. I have a few male clients, but there are clients that I've had where I ask, the first question is, how are you sleeping? And I tell them, hey, I don't think we should work together right now. Like, not because I don't want to work with you, but it's nothing that I can do if you don't sleep. And don't let another trainer, I don't care if you come back to me or not. Do not pay anybody to help you lose weight if you're not going to fix your sleep issue, because it's not going to happen, or it's going to happen and you're not going to stay with that trainer. I'm telling you, your brain and your body will tell you one day to quit, and you'll think that it's not having motivation. You'll think that it's not discipline, when your body and your brain is very smart, and it will give you a signal of just like give you a signal of a stuffy nose or a headache when you haven't been hydrating properly. It will give you the signal to not want to work out or not want to continue with this force if you're not giving it the proper rest.
People don't understand, the body communicates to you. And even if it's not through pain, it's like the way it looks, misalignments.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's
like
so many different
stiffness. It's just that the body. Listen, family, your body is talking to you. Pay attention before it's too late. You have male and female clients. What's like the significance difference of how you train both? Because obviously we're biologically and physiologically different.
Yeah.
Is there like a core
Absolutely. There's a
difference?
Yes, absolutely.
What's your
Yeah. So one, with men, when it comes to eating, right? Men are really, really prone to eating whatever, meaning they can, y'all have a good practice of grinding, hustling, providing and putting your feelings aside, right? And that involves with everything. I mean, even when it comes to love, even when it comes to children, right? Y'all, like a lot of y'all have what you call like you can cut off things.
Yeah, sacrifice.
Yeah, you can the perfect word. And so with women, I find that we're learning now how to like eat and provide. So a lot of times with women, it's more like, oh my God, I'm just getting so tired of this meal. Like, I'm getting tired of eating the same thing. I'm getting bored. Like, that's the main thing with women. It's like, I'm bored. Like, I need something new. And men, y'all can eat the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
y'all can eat the same
Word up,
thing.
I can eat the same thing. I'm good.
See?
Yeah,
And
word
so
up,
that's
real.
one thing. So that's one. But the other thing too as well, which also plays a factor in just the menstrual cycle. Like, there's a certain way that we should be working out during our cycles. So the week before our menstrual cycle or the week of, like, all of those different things play a major role. So really just the food situation is completely different, and just teaching women. I don't specifically try to teach women to like cut those factors off, because I really do not think we actually can. I really don't think we actually can.
You know what, too? The younger me would try to force a woman to be more like me, but I now have learned, because just maturing, that we should always work with the nature of a thing or a
Yes.
person, not go against the nature of it. Obviously, we're humans, right? We can sort of like force our will to do certain things, but I think that you would get much further in life if you work with the nature of someone.
Yes.
So if someone's an introvert, and obviously, right, we definitely want them to learn how to be more of an extrovert if they need those skills.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, bruh, if you're getting the results that you're getting, this is how you're happy, rock out.
Yeah.
Me, I'm an extrovert. I like to be around people.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. So you want me to win?
Absolutely.
Put me around people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
when it comes to eating healthy,
Yeah.
and being fit, a lot of people say, "Oh, I just can't afford it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how can someone that's living on a tight budget
Yeah.
live a healthier, fit life?
Yeah, absolutely. One, I really believe in getting knowledge, because when you learn where to get your nutrients from, you will realize that it's actually not expensive. And the only reason why I say that is because buying real food is the healthiest way to live, is buying real food as much as possible. At least 80%
Yeah.
of your week should be real food. So basically, shopping around the perimeter of the store is the cheapest. Like, when you get into the processed things, processed foods, that's when it actually gets expensive.
Yeah.
So,
Cut the snacks out, you save money there.
yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah.
other-
Yeah, but it's the knowledge too, because, like, for example, right? Let's say if you're a person that's used to buying McDonald's, right? And you're a person that's like, okay, I don't even know if they have a dollar menu anymore. But let's say if there's a burger that is $5 and you're getting that all the time, and that's your thing, right? But now you have the knowledge of what's healthier. So now like, okay, if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm just gonna let me order the burger, but let me bring my bread. So now I'm bringing the correct bread with me. So now you're going to the store and just buying the bread or the grain. So if you buy Chinese food a lot, instead of you getting their rice, why don't you just steam our rice, and then you might put the sauce on the side so that it's not completely hammered with all of that sauce. Now it's a little bit, and now you have wild rice with your steamed chicken and broccoli.
Yeah,
So
I love that, because I mean it's truly how life is. Like, sometimes you may not be able to get the best, but you can do better.
yes,
You can
absolutely,
get better.
absolutely.
So it's about being creative, and in order to be creative, you do definitely have to have the knowledge to know how and with what to be creative with. I love that.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
if you can make any meal healthier,
Yeah.
like, and honestly, most meals, like anything that is a food that you're prepping yourself, if it's coming from nature, it's naturally healthy first. It's a step or two or three or four or five
Right.
that we do as humans to turn it into something unhealthy, whether it is the wrong flour that we use, or whether it is the wrong oil that we use.
Sauce.
Yeah, and if that sauce has sugar in it, like, and versus cane sugar, if anything. So it's about the knowledge. So if you're like, oh, okay, I know that I love things with sugar, but I just need to first switch to cane sugar or switch to coconut brown sugar first, Now you can make your own honey mustard. Now you can make or buy or purchase these items now that you know that they're there. Because a lot of people just don't know what to actually buy. That's what I base my meal plans off of.
Yeah,
I base my meal plans off of teaching you what you should be eating so that forever, whether you stay with me forever or you don't, you have an understanding of how to make any type of meal healthier.
Yeah. And I think too, so it boils down to three things: the knowledge,
Yeah.
the desire
Yes.
to even put in the work to
Yes.
be creative.
Yeah. And the thing is like, it's a lot of times it's more so rebuilding your palate. Like, it's going to be kind of relearning how to cook again. So it's just about having patience with yourself, because just like when you make any other dish, because what people tend to do is they'll make something quote unquote healthier, and it's like, oh, this is nasty, and it didn't come out right, and they think that because it's healthier and it didn't come out right, automatically it's like, oh no, I'm not doing this again. And it's no, if any meal, whether it would have been an unhealthy meal or a healthy meal, if it didn't come out right, it didn't come out right. You might need to make it 2 or 3 times. Just like if you make a cake, or if you make something that is unhealthy, whether you fry something and it doesn't come out right, and you like, oh, next time I know what I'm gonna do. So we have to give the same patience to that meal that we're trying to recreate and relearn how to make.
And also understand, this goes back to the knowledge, how we've been conditioned and programmed for certain palates.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, if you, I
right.
challenge our viewers, go read the ingredients of all the breads in the supermarket, and you will see that they have sugar in it.
Yes.
And it makes you wonder, why are you putting sugar in bread?
Yes.
So someone might say, well, just to make it taste better, but you got to also understand that you're being trained for a certain taste bud as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's why like bitters are important.
Yes.
Like there's certain herbs, there's certain foods that are bitter, that carry their own macronutrients that's necessary. They don't taste good, but we've been conditioned to only think that the food that tastes good are the ones that's best for us.
Absolutely. And that's why I always say, like, when it comes to discipline, there isn't a way to discipline yourself out of someone preying on you. Like, that's something that, especially if you don't know. And so that's why we have to have patience with ourselves, because there are really, really intelligent marketers out there.
Come on. They're psychologists.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you can have discipline, but you're not disciplining yourself out of that if you don't have the knowledge or have help or assistance with it. So sometimes just being nice and patient with yourself is key.
What would you consider the perfect morning routine?
I think that the perfect, I'm going to give 2 answers. For the first answer would be, I think that the perfect morning routine is something that makes you feel good to start your day first, and that you can stick with. So that's number one. I'm going to give you a more personal one, but I think a general answer would be something that's going to get you ready for your day that you can stick with.
I love that. I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
People bug when I tell them that I meditate for 5 minutes. Because, they say that to see real results, you got to meditate for 20 and all that. And sometimes I do that too. However, consistently, that's all I got.
Yes. Yep. 5
minutes. So I love what you said, because that's important about, and I'm a very structured and routine person, like almost like robotic, is it has to be, I dare say, realistic to your life. And then just be open-minded if you can pivot and now do more, then do more.
Yeah, absolutely. So now personally, for me, or even, should I say for me or for clients? All right. Yeah, I would say for clients. I think that another, like on a more personal level, because I find that giving information, you just have to be mindful of how you give information, just because there's so many people from different aspects of life.
Right.
So that's why I want to give a general answer. But the more personal one that I would give to my clients is, one, your morning routine is going to be dependent upon your night routine. So one is making sure that you get enough sleep. That would be like my top answer, because I believe that anytime you are making sure that you get enough sleep and good quality sleep, your morning routine will be perfect. So
ask me when my gym bag is prepped for the next day.
When is your gym bag prepped for the next day?
The night before.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I would say it's the night. Because the reason why I say that is because, right, a lot of clients, like, they'll be like, "Oh, Key, I really can't make this morning." I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's okay, because you didn't, like, you had something to do at nighttime. Like, if your workouts are in the morning time and you're brand new to working out, and it's going to be based on how you get your sleep, and it's not a forced thing. I think that when we grow up, we're trying to force our grades to be, or force studying so we can get an A, or force, putting work in so I can get a higher position. We think that that is the same way that it goes when it comes to health.
Mhm.
And a lot of health is force and flow. And so if you know that, like, you haven't got enough sleep, it's okay. That means that your health routine today is just eat healthy.
Mhm.
Because that's just all it's going to do, is just, you're going to be so ready to go the next day because you got sleep, because you are using that morning time to sleep, which is health.
Mhm.
And now you're just eating better for the rest of the day. And the good thing about it is, if you actually keep your eating for the day, you might be able to find time in the evening time that you didn't even think of. And if you don't, you're just ready to get to it. Because one thing I know is that if you have a bad diet, your exercise at some point will fall off. But if you have a good, clean eating regimen, you're more amped to get back
Mm.
to working out, because you're like, I don't be in all this good stuff. Like, I want to get back to working out. Like, I need to work out. And as opposed to it being, eating bad, and you're trying to, keep up with your eating regimen, or
Yeah.
your workout regimen.
I think that it's important. All of that, behind it all, is you have to have an agenda or a plan for your life,
Absolutely.
for your day,
Absolutely.
for your week.
Absolutely.
Because then if you know, okay, this week I'm working out with Tory on Monday, then you already know on Sunday,
Yeah.
all that drinking, all that staying up late,
Yeah.
or whatever, you gotta modify your day based on your program. And I think,
Absolutely.
listen, I get it, right? I'm a structured person,
Yes,
and
yes.
there's definitely times for flow and freestyle and
absolutely.
pivoting.
Yeah.
But I think that more people are thinking that their life is based on freestyling.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just
absolutely.
whenever I'm in the mood for it. Like, nah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta have an agenda. You gotta have
Yeah.
structure.
Absolutely.
Plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I agree with that. The only difference is that when a person is building to that, like, so if you're building to in this area, right? Because, like, what did I say about discipline earlier? Discipline is there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us will have discipline and willpower in finishing projects. So you may be a person that's like, I'm staying up to finish this project. It's equally as important to me as health. And so sometimes it's like, okay, for the last 3 weeks, I've been going to bed. But that old you that's like, hey, remember me, the person that loves to stay up tonight to 2 o'clock in the morning and finish this project, it does not have to mean you fell off because of something bad. Sometimes it's our old habits. And if that old you comes up, it's okay. So I agree with the force, but after a while, when you're doing, the new habits,
Mm-hmm.
that old you is going to challenge you sometimes. And
Absolutely.
sometimes you will fold. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just you. It's you.
Right.
Because your brain knows you. Like, you know you. And so it'll get you sometimes. And so that's the times where you have to have a plan according to that. And it's okay if you had to do something that's equally important. Now, but what's your plan? So if you know you're a person that sometimes, because your regimen or your routine could be, a lot of the times I go to bed, but then there's times where I'm just not, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'm just a person that has to get, because that's you too.
Right.
And so when you are becoming healthy, sometimes you learn, like, how to take care of yourself based on your different personalities and how you attack different things in life.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, when I'm on point and I'm going to bed, this is how I attack health. But when I have projects to do, when I want to grow in my income, I know I'm this type of person. So how do I take care of myself when I'm in this mode of, I want to be the next person or in this area? Because you might be working on the next version of you health wise, but then there's other areas when you want to be better in your relationship, when you want to be better education wise, income wise, personal, mom wise, father wise. And so what you start to learn with health is the things that you say you're going to do, what you don't do. When we talk about the excuse, right? When we talk about the why, that's important because it's showing you how you take care of yourself in all aspects of how you use your time.
Indeed.
You know?
And you know what I learned as a man in his mid-40s? If you really want to know about a person, watch how they use their time
Yes.
and money.
Yes.
I don't listen to what
Absolutely.
people say,
Absolutely.
especially when they say, I want to do this, I want to do that. All right, cool. Your time, how you use your time and money is going to show
Absolutely.
who you are.
Yep.
And what you really want to do.
Absolutely.
Not granted, right? We got to talk about, like, you know, my mother came here from third world country, worked at a factory. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say she didn't have any choices, but there were certain things that she had to do. And there's moments for that, and we got to allow ourselves that space also. You know, there's like, I remember when I was going to college, I wasn't working out as consistent as I do now because the pressure was different.
Yep.
So I made other adjustments and
Yep.
just found ways to do things differently.
Yeah.
So I could definitely do 100 push-ups.
Absolutely.
I could definitely do 100 burpees. I may not have an hour to go to the gym because I got to study for this exam.
Exactly.
But I could bang out 100 burpees right now in my house in a small little space. So,
Exactly.
so it's about learning how to make those adjustments
Yep.
when life demands certain things.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, how does someone optimize, you know, from your experience? You got 15 years of experience working from a diverse woman, all types.
Yeah.
How can someone optimize their body?
As far as like what, in what aspect? As far as like overall,
Yeah.
or and as far as like, you just mean like a regimen, like overall,
for
or you
it to
mean like a certain? Is there a certain?
for it to perform, for lack of a better word, efficient in life?
Okay, got it. So, and you're just talking about, you're asking me based off of someone who, let's say, if you're like, how do I just feel better? How do I get the best out of my body just overall? That's
Yes.
okay. So one is sleep. That's number one. So I like to list it as the three things. It's sleep, then it's nutrition, and then it's movement. But I think because we watch a lot of movies, right? And let's say when somebody is saying like, oh man, I need to lose weight, right? Or there's a movie where a person like Rocky, right? Or what's the Creed, right? Every time that person needs to get better, or every time in a movie a person needs to lose weight, all we see them do is go hard. So you see that clip with the music, the inspirational music, where they suck at first, and then by the time the song ends, they're killing it, right? And then you see the person slapping out if the person needs to lose weight, let's say in a movie, like a nutty professor, they're slapping a pizza out, giving them a salad. We always think of like hardcore, and so we don't appreciate the feminine part that keeps the masculine strong, right? And that's in all of us. And so sleep is the most important factor, because as soon as you see someone like who's bigger, or someone says like, I need to gain weight, or I need to lose weight, it's always like, I need to go to the gym. That's like the first thing that people talk about. We never talk about stress management first. Just taking care of the things in my life that are damaging me and causing me to not take care of myself, not allowing me to sleep. Those are the first two things that need to be conquered. Why? Because they will absolutely be the reason why you choose pizza over a healthy meal. Because if you had to do 5 days of studying and you did not sleep, you're not going to have willpower to say, hey, I'm going to pick chickpeas and wild rice, or I'm going to pick salmon and a salad today. You will absolutely, no sleep and studying 7-8 hours for your exam will absolutely trigger pizza over that salmon, or over working out. And so to optimize your body is going to be making sure that you put it in a space where it feels safe enough to even become better. And that is going to be stress levels and sleep. Once those two are together, or you're working on them, it will open up space on your plate, and more you'll have. Instead of having 10% willpower, you will not have 30, 40, 50%, because you're knocking out the things that are actually draining your willpower. So it is going to be stress management, sleep. I put those together. And then it's going to be nutrition, and then movement. It's not movement first. It's not always, I got to go to the gym. I got to go to the gym. Sometimes if you're already stressed out, going to the gym is going to make it worse, because you already are stressed out. You already super undereat and malnutrition. Going to the gym and burning more calories, sweating more, losing more nutrients is not going to make it better. And what we think is, I'm losing discipline. You've never had it in this area in the first place. You never gained it enough in the first place to say you lost anything. You only did it for 3 months, 6 months. You didn't develop it yet. It's not that you lost discipline. It's the fact that you don't have spacing. Your body is already drained. So sleeping and the stress management, it would be the first two, because we just don't talk about those things first. Because even if we talk about the Creed situation, right? The movie in Creed, right? Even if we talk about Professor Clump, where did that come from? Why did Creed have that? Why did Michael B. Jordan in the movie have the issues that he had when he was even a fighter in the first place? Because it came from a stressful situation. So before we just go and run in the movie, we have to address little Adonis. We have to address the teenager Adonis and why he's in that way in the first place, because that's going to be the situation that's going to stop the place or come up and show up. Hey, remember me? Remember? And so we have to start addressing those things and including that in our health regimen. I don't think we talk about therapy in our why you eat the way. Therapy important, sleep important, food. Those three will stress management, and I'm saying therapy because you can manage your stress through that in other ways. But therapy, stress management, sleep, and food would be the first things to optimize my body, because it gives me a slate to work with. So I just did a 42-day parasite cleanse. The parasite cleanse that we did a 9-day, shout out to Herbal Chemist J, Clinical Herbist J. We did a 9-day, right? I did 6 days, no eating. We don't only do water fast. You shouldn't just do water fast. There should be some type of glucose in your water, or sodium or magnesium, things like that in your water. So we just did that. And then we had to slowly introduce like juice. And so we had to put water in our juice. We didn't want to slap a bunch of sugar for our pancreas and things like that can be affected. So I'm saying that to say we did all of that, right? 42 days. And after that, we had to do all this raw and vegan meals and, no meats and things like that, just to clear the parasites out. That was just the clean slate. That was not the actual detox. The detox is the clean slate, and a lot of us are detoxing to lose weight. You should not be detox is not for weight loss. It's for detoxing weight loss. I don't want to say they're different things, but detoxing should not be used to become healthier. You should just be let me rephrase that better. Detoxing should be used because you want to cleanse your body. It should not be because you're rushing to lose weight or rushing to lose fat percent. That is the clean slate so that you can go and have a good run. And so that's why I say sleep, nutrition, stress management, because you want to give yourself a clean slate. Do that for 3 to 6 months, and your weight loss journey will be in a whole nother type of realm versus it being stressed out, tired, and now you're trying to go to the gym. Where are you getting your natural energy from? Sometimes like I'm hurt when I hear women and even men when they tell me they doing this, that, and the third. Oh man, I barely get sleep. Oh man, I'm barely eating. I feel like hurt by that, because I'm like, dang, like we're really, really obsessed with success that we are willing to like sell our bodies. We talk about selling our soul, but what about selling our bodies and not replenishing to get the things that we want to get?
Yeah.
And so, when it comes to optimizing, you want to have yourself a clean slate so that you have a good chance.
Yeah, the rat race is no joke, and a lot of people don't realize how and when you were saying that, it reminded me of like numerous examples that I've heard of where they'd be like, someone died of a heart attack, but he worked out, he had 6-pack, he was fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you said that, I was like, man, maybe because the other two pillars, the resting, the stress management weren't taken care of. So he or she ran and jogged and lifted weights. But the other two pillars weren't taken care of.
Yeah. And not even that, like we just don't understand. I think we're learning more and more how we are as species. And we're species. So it's like when it comes to running, when it comes to exercise, right? We're thinking like we're exercising to look a certain way, to look better, feel better. But like exercise is used to clean your system, is used to move your lymphatic system. So when we're spending all this time in the gym to even get abs and things, a lot of that stuff is really a luxury. Like it's not
It's
really,
a byproduct.
it's a luxury, meaning Like when it boils down to survival, it's about like being in shape to survive and to live longer. When we start trying to have like, oh, I want to have the small belly, I want to have the six pack, I want to have, now you're manipulating your body in a certain way because it just cares about having enough fat percent if there's famine, our healthy organs, healthy blood, and not being overweight too much on our joints and things of that nature. If you naturally have a leaner build, yes, but it's not abs are not a necessity for life.
Well, yeah, there's people that have abs are totally unhealthy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you get caught up in the superficial things about looks, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people, they ask me, oh, what workout should I do? Whatever. I don't know your lifestyle.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you a construction worker? You're probably getting enough exercise.
Yep, exactly.
But if you want bigger biceps, I mean, do you really need that? Like,
exactly.
I tell everybody, a lot of stuff I do, I actually is because of the look, because I've definitely come to the conclusion that to be optimal, all I really need to do is three things: some form of calisthenics, some form of yoga on a regular basis, and some light jogging, some light running.
You
know what I mean? All that bench press and all of that. I do that, by the way. I get it in. But that's really for me, and that's just the look that I like.
Yeah.
So, but I know myself, and I also know the truth.
Exactly.
And I incorporate those other things for optimal health.
Exactly.
Because you could be bench pressing 300-400 pounds. That doesn't mean you're healthy just because you got a big chest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just say that to say, like, that's why I was saying, like, some of us just need 20 minutes to be healthy and look good. You don't need that much. You don't really need that much.
You have 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds on steroids.
Yes.
And I don't condone it, but not even to compete.
Yeah.
Just to get bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you want to destroy your body so you can get more chicks at the beach?
Yeah. It's
you know what I mean? So it's just like, definitely gotta like.
Yeah. It's a luxury. And the only reason why I say it's a luxury is only because it's not a necessity for a living.
Right.
Like if
optimal.
Yeah. Meaning if things hit the fan, nobody cares about who has abs.
Right.
We just care about who's gonna lift up and who can put
run,
who can run. Like, so these things are extra. I'm not saying not to chase them or chase them, but what I'm just saying is
just
that
know
it's not needed. So some of our workouts literally can be 20 to 30 minutes based on just health.
Right.
And then the other stuff, whatever comes. And that's how I live. I used to go for the abs and all of that stuff, and I had all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I was miserable. Like, I was miserable. I had to share every dessert. Like, when I had cake, now I'm about, I range around 175. 175, 170. And that's my weight that, like, I don't have to do too much. Right. Like, my goal is between 8 and 10. Like, as long as I'm between the size 8 and 10, I'm fine. Because I was 18. So from between me and 8 and 10, before it was, I got to be a 6. Right. And I was miserable. Like, I didn't want to do nothing because I was always in the gym. I was always running. I was always trying to sleep. I always had to bring a ton of food with me everywhere because I couldn't eat places because I was like, I'm not eating that. I have to eat. I'm just at cookouts, at parties with my food. And so, like, it was cool. I looked stronger and I looked a certain way and it was great. Like, but I was miserable.
It's interesting you say that.
I was miserable.
Right, because a lot of people ask me, like, yo, True, do you have cheat days? And I say, yeah. Now, there was a point in time where I didn't. And the same, I just wasn't, I don't know if the word is happy, but I just didn't feel as great. And now having cheat days every so often, I would say the best thing is no cheat days, right? I would say that. Of course. But I know, knowing myself and having, in my journey, having cheat days every so often works well with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even with clients, I think 80% is a good number because it's enough. It's enough to get you to your goals and it's enough to enjoy.
Right.
Because it's about longevity.
Indeed.
And then when you want to do 100%, you're not far. So you can just do a little bit extra to stay in the 100 because I think B's are great because a lot of times with the A's, with the C's, with the D's, with the F, I like to compare where we're at in life based on your plan, based on A, B, C. But B's get you a great amount of money and get you in a good school too. And you don't need Adderall to keep an A. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. A lot of us, or a lot of Lifetime movies I've seen where the students were with the A's, they were the anxiety and the stress levels were really high because they needed to be an A in getting all their grades. There was an A of top in the sports, top in this, top in that, top in this, top in that, and their health mentally is not there versus the B. And I'm not, and then there's some that manage it well. So I don't want to say, like, that's a bad thing. But what I'm just saying is that some of us are in a D and a C or maybe even a B, and we just think that we have to be at an A when what we talked about earlier, like if you're good at some areas, that's an A. Work on those. Everything doesn't need to be an A across the board. Some stuff you can get in life with a B and a C, and it's great. Like average is okay. It's okay to be average in some areas because average keeps your mentality leveled. Because there's people that you can just ask that are A's to help you out. Yeah. Like, you don't got to change your B or your C to an A all the time if it's not a necessity. Sometimes just work with somebody that has an A in that area or is knowledgeable in that area, and they can just teach you. Or like how if you were suffering somewhere and you needed a tutor, just get a tutor. You don't need to learn everything all on your own, try to conquer everything on your own, especially when it comes to health and fitness. So I think that like when we, school, how we grow up in school, it makes us kind of take over everything in life. It's like, oh, I gotta be 100%. I gotta be top in this. I gotta be, and that's just, it's not true.
Yeah,
like, it's just not true.
So I definitely cannot have a fitness person on this show who's had 15 years of experience and not ask them, how can someone lose belly fat?
Yes.
That was actually one of the questions from our audience, by the way.
Absolutely. So when it comes to belly fat, right? When it comes to fat loss, period, the goal is to sleep enough. That's number one. I'm going to always stress sleep enough.
So sleeping.
Yeah, only because like that's where your body fat percent is lost. Like that's where your body changes. So without sleep, nothing can change because where will it change at? So sleep is going to be number one. And then really eating real food and getting stronger. Like those would be like my 3 top. If you needed to change something right now, go to bed or take naps, even if you can't, because I don't think everybody can sleep 8 hours, but I think some people need 4 and then take some increment, 2 hours here, 2-hour naps there, and that's your 8 or your 7. But sleep and then eating real food at least 80 to 90% of the time, and then getting stronger. Like not just exercising. You want to get everything stronger. Get your core stronger. Get your arms stronger. Get your back stronger. Your legs, your glutes. Get stronger. Get stronger. Those are the 3, because when it comes to belly fat loss, or fat loss in general, you have to sleep enough to lose fat. You have to eat properly to lose fat. And then you have to build muscle to lose fat. And so those would be the 3. When it comes to belly fat, it's those 3. And the thing is that you will see things change. I've seen it where if a person is losing, let's say if they're working out and you see their shoulders or their legs coming down, but that belly is not going anywhere, it's either stress, sleep, and not enough water. So let me add number 4 too. Drinking enough water with some lemon, some chlorophyll if you're not allergic, lime, something with minerals, something plant-based in your water to help your kidneys and your liver to retrieve that water better, especially if it's been sitting in bottles and things like that. So 4. So sleep, go to bed, eat real food, get stronger, drink water.
Love that. This is another question from our audience. How can someone who just had a baby and has that baby fat have you? How can they lose weight?
Yeah. So what I love about that question, thank you for asking that question. I just had a conversation with my best friend because her baby's turning 2. He used to be turning 2. And what I like to say is what did Fat Joe say? Yesterday's
price is not today's price.
All right, so yesterday's schedule, pre-baby schedule, is not today's schedule. And so I just need new moms to understand, like, your schedule is going to be based on that baby schedule. Because usually when you have to sleep, when you can get sleep, and we know the pillars of weight loss is sleep, eating enough. And so a lot of times when women have new babies, especially with things going on in life, everything switches because you're going off how your baby sleeps, and just if you're going back to work, all these things. This is a big adjustment, and so, and especially if you're breastfeeding, all of these things play a major role. So one, we just have to be patient, because a lot of times if you were used to working out in the morning or used to working out at a certain time, if that baby needs attention, that's just what's going to happen. And so if you don't have like a nanny or an assistant, or someone to like a grandmother or someone in the family that can, cover for you where you can have set workout times, then you are more than likely just going to be able to work out whenever you can. And so one thing is understanding that you're not probably going to be able to have a set workout schedule in the first place. So just allowing that acknowledging that and allowing that space in would allow you to look a little bit more, oh, you know what, I got 20 minutes. And I would stick to 20-minute 15-20-minute workouts, because that way it just keeps you going and it keeps you feeling good, and it keeps you and that sweat is just important, but also like it gives you the motivation to now find 30 minutes, now find 100, because during that change, it's a lot of focus on, the baby and keeping things that were in order that were previously, there before the baby came. And so now it goes from, I got to lose this weight, I got to lose this weight, I got to lose this weight. And that 20 minutes is what we talked about earlier. That gives you, just finding those 20-minute pockets gives you the encouragement to either keep finding the 20-minute pockets, or now you will see pockets where, oh, I could do 30 minutes there. Oh, I could because the consistency. So one would be, don't worry about finding the right schedule. Oh, I used to work out all the time. Today's schedule is not yesterday's schedule. It's not today's schedule. Yeah. And so for about 2 years, you're probably going to be on a up and down schedule. Your workouts may be Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and then you might get 5 days the next week. Then you might not get any. And so I think that one is, stop worrying about what you were doing before. Stop comparing it. Number two would be to find small increments wherever they may be. So if the baby sleep and you have a chance, instead of sitting and watch TV, maybe you watch TV and do some jumping jacks, squats, get some weights to just get stronger. And then I would just prioritize just eating cleaner, because when you are breastfeeding, you don't want to constrict yourself from certain macronutrients. You want to have everything. So just eating whole food. So make sure you're getting your fats. Make sure you're getting your carbs in there, the correct carbs. Make sure you're getting your proteins. Make sure you're getting your vitamins and minerals that are approved for breastfeeding, and just being patient. Walking and movement every time you can. If you could park farther and things like that, and allowing it to naturally find, space for you to do that, because it's not about rushing. Like healthy health and fat loss is not about rushing. It's not about getting it off as fast as possible. It's not debt. Like, you know what I mean? It's not debt. And so I think that we have a rush period, whether pre-baby or post-baby. It's a fat loss is always, I gotta get it off now. Nobody wants to slow roll fat loss. And so, and that's how it occurs. It doesn't matter pre-baby or not. And so I just think that with new moms, it's more of a comparing, like last year or when I was younger, I was able to, today's schedule is not yesterday's schedule. So when I have women who have newborn babies, or just babies period, in them first like 2 or 3 years, especially the first 1 or 2 years, it's just get it in when you can. Here's a list of 15, 20. And what I usually do is I just have lists. Here's 15-minute workouts. Here's 20-minute workouts. Here's an hour workout. If you can join, if we can train, cool. As long as you find the pockets, because there's a pocket that you could find in that entire week. You could find 15. You could find, they're all equally important. They will all equally get you to the goal, whether you do the 15, the 20, the 30, or the hour. Not just comparing, I only have this amount of time. They all will work, especially if you pair it with sleep, you pair it with positive thoughts, and you pair it with real food and patience, and it'll come off. But more so what we're doing is comparing, and we know comparison. We usually talk about comparing ourselves to other people, but we usually will compare ourselves to back then as well. And that will kind of put a halt in our growth too, just as if we compare ourselves to other people. So That's what I would say when it comes to new moms. Don't even worry about it. If you could get it in, you could get it in. But if your food is on point, that's number one. If you can get it in, whatever pocket you have, that's whatever pocket you have.
Love that.
Mhm.
That's powerful and very, very valuable. If you know somebody who just had a baby, please share this episode with them because I'm sure that they will be inspired and really benefit from everything that she just said. So let's talk about this BBL thing, right? Especially because, and this is a perfect segue into hip hop, and what's promoted. But I heard you say that it's harder to get. I'll have you. I have you break it down. But what's your view on BBLs?
Yeah, so a lot of people, like, the reason why I said BBLs are harder than getting it in the gym. The only reason why I said that is because every time, like when I did my episode on BBLs, when I was I went to Zucchini Bar and I was like, oh, I'm about to film, I'm about to do, episode on BBLs, and they was like, oh, they're cheating. People automatically think it's cheating. And so the reason why I say it's harder, and a lot of people don't probably put this into consideration, is because number one is
You say that getting them natural is harder.
getting a BBL is harder than building it in the gym.
Gotcha.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because you actually have to go through the detrimental phase twice. So the first phase is actually just going through the surgery, and then you still got to go to the gym. So anybody with a BBL has to still go to the gym. If they don't, then they have to go back on the table. So to me, that is absolutely harder because now there's a whole extra step. And the thing about a lot of BBLs is most BBLs, which they don't tell you, most BBLs they don't turn out well. They don't turn out well. And as you can see, a lot of women are getting rid of them or changing them. I don't want to say getting rid of them because you can't really get rid of a BBL, but women that have had injections, they're changing it because they're claiming that they just kind of want to slim down or they want a different look. But a lot of it is because there's been issues. So most of the time when people are getting BBLs, the ones that look perfect, they're usually about 2-3 surgeries in. It's not just the first surgery. So that's why I'm saying it's completely harder because, one, it's a huge risk. You're losing a traumatic amount of blood. And I can confidently say that there is always an issue with a BBL. People just don't tell you. But there is always an issue. Like, I haven't met one woman where it hasn't been an issue.
Wow.
Not one. Like, you know how I can say I've never met not one. And even if the issue wasn't physical, it was mental.
Right.
Because they weren't used to having that type of body. So now it just went from you want a nice body to now you don't even trust the men that you talk to. Or now you don't even want to get out of a car to walk out in front of people. Or now you don't know how to shop for certain clothes, or you didn't know that you couldn't fit jeans. Because when you have a larger bottom, you can't fit a lot of clothes. So it's like it's never 100% okay.
I'm a man, and I don't mean to sound insensitive.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you think about that before?
You can't, though, because the reason why I'm saying that you can't is because if it's something you don't have, like it's like if you get a house, right? So if a person fiends to get a house, right? So if I'm fiending to get a bigger butt, if I'm fiending to get a house, and you just go buy a house and now the pipes burst and all these different things, and you like, oh my gosh, like, and when you get a house, it's always problems. So it's the same with the BBL.
The experience teaches you.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'm saying it's the same with the BBL is because it's the same with the body, period. It regardless if you get a BBL or not, you're always going to have some type of issue health-wise, or some type of issue that you're working towards, whether it's an injury, whether it's trying to keep it on point, or whether something's not on point. When you get older, you're going to have some type of issues, or you're either disciplined to prevent it. That's the only two. You either have issues when you get older, or you're so on point that you're preventing it. So you're living by a certain code to prevent as much as you possibly could. So
why is it? And I think that, in perfect segue into hip hop, I think hip hop has something to do with this. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm just so everybody knows, I'm a big hip hop.
Yeah.
There's so many women who are slim, but they want to be thick.
Yeah.
And why do they want bigger butts? Now, I'm a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm Dominican, so I get it. I know what I'm attracted to as a man.
Yeah.
But just from a female's perspective, what is that like for a woman to have a certain body, but then not be satisfied to the point that they're willing to risk their lives to have a
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about it is, right, when it comes to BBLs, it's the same as steroids, right? It's literally the same as men taking steroids, right? Like men have been taking steroids for eons. It's the same thing. Like it's not. It's literally the same thing. But like we talked about earlier, a lot of these things are programmed into us. Like same thing with men. Like men have been taking steroids, and we're not comparing it to BBLs, but it's life threatening too. Like, and so men are doing the same things to get bigger. Women are just getting surgery to get it bigger, but you're still injecting poison in your body. And so that's one thing that, like, I'm like, why are we not talking about steroids? Like, this has been going on before BBLs. Like, this has been going on past
Yeah, dude.
for a
Dudes
long
will be
time.
saying in a tan thing, yo, it'll give you cancer. So what? I'm getting tan.
Yeah,
Like,
and so it's funny how, like, when women do it, it's like, oh, she get a BBL, but we don't compare it to steroids, and it's the same thing.
Wow, that's yo. I ain't even going front. Yeah, you right. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. If men are juiced up, you might have more men on steroids than women on BBLs.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, and it's more accessible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just same thing. I don't think it's a fantasy. Like, it's a fantasy.
Yeah,
But the thing is that I don't think that anything is wrong with just trying to look your best, but we just have really, really important, intelligent marketers who are, when they want to sell you a BBL, they're going to sell you a BBL. And if they want to sell you Gucci, they're going to sell you Gucci. Like,
speaking about BBLs and Gucci, so you merged two industries, hip hop
yeah,
and health,
yeah,
which some may say are sort of contradictory because hip hop can be so toxic.
yeah,
You know, you got people promoting lean,
yeah.
pills, drinking. So tell me, why did you merge both worlds?
Yeah, I always have been like a hip hop fiend. I'm a hip hop lover since, like, birth. So when I started to take on my journey of, becoming healthier, I was always going to different battles, going to different studio sessions, different celebrities, all these different things. But when I started getting healthier, I was like finding myself like having to like travel with like food all the time, and then like going to certain events. I would be pissed because I'm like, I didn't have like staying because I wasn't a celebrity. Like, I would just be with the celebrities. So I was just like, dang, I like I can't bring my food in here. Like, I can't, like, because I would be in events and it's just chicken nuggets and fries and chicken fingers and pizza and fries and nachos and all these different sodas, carnival food, popcorn and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I just stopped going. Like, I just stopped going because, like, I just didn't like being out and about. And even traveling and things like that, like, people didn't care about what they ate. They just ate whatever. And I used to always be the eyeball out, having to, like, hurry up. And, like, wow, if we're going to California, we are here, I have to hurry up early in the morning, go get all my stuff, order a bunch of healthy food, find my restaurants before I go places, and have all of that so that when I get back, I could just help the artist, like, and go here. And I have all my food set. And I'm like, and then also I would see different beefs starting, and I would realize, like, dang, like, a lot of y'all can't hear or can't be vulnerable just because y'all are very, very malnutrition. Like, y'all are deprived. Yeah, and intoxicated. And so that's what made me merge it, because I'm like, we need to have an understanding of how, like, health affects us and how it affects the energy in hip hop. So that's why I decided to merge it, because I was seeing that a lot of artists are dying earlier, or groups are breaking up. And a lot of hip hop is pure exhaustion. Like, we don't talk about how exhausting that culture is, but we don't talk about how exhausting money is in the totality.
In general, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow, that's powerful. And I know you have a high position in the hip hop is green movement.
Yeah, I did. We don't have a Jersey chapter anymore, but when we were running it, I was like a co-leader.
Well, thank you.
Shout out to Keith Tucker.
Word. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. As a fellow hip hop head myself,
thank you.
Thank you for doing that,
Yeah,
because I get to benefit from all the work that you're doing and have done, providing better options, but also too, just in general, the community needs that, because I mean, that's like the #1 genre in I don't want to say the world, but definitely our community.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so by
Yeah.
assisting the artists and sort of refining the culture, a byproduct of that, because so many of us follow the culture of hip hop, is that we as individuals can also make better health choices.
Yeah,
So I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of artists and a lot of celebrities have major mental issues, and we don't talk about that. But the mental issues are from a lot of them do not sleep enough. They have unorthodox schedules, and that's not how your body is supposed to
Yeah.
move. And so that's why like a lot of hip hop artists like they don't have good relationships. A lot of the men, a lot of the women, they don't. Like, if they do, they usually stop rapping. The moment like a person gets in a serious relationship where they want it to be healthy, they usually will fall back
Yeah.
from doing all of that because you cannot uphold not being able to sleep, traveling here and there, and not have a hold on like your health and be drinking and up. That's detrimental. It's never gonna come out okay. They have a lot of problems, but they don't share them, or we let a lot of things slide because they have high income.
Right.
But a lot of them have mental issues. I mean, a lot of people have mental issues because we don't sleep enough. And so you will have issues in your mind if you do not sleep enough. And hip hop is a non-sleeping culture. It's a hurry up, gotta get here, gotta go there, I gotta have this out, I gotta front, I got a lot of like I have it when I don't. It's a lot of fronting in that space. And so that's why, because I'm around in my job, when I'm around people, that's my gift. I can automatically see like, okay, what you need to do to like really be the best version of yourself, not just only when it comes to income, not just only when it comes to your talent, because a lot of talent that is derived in Hillside, where I'm from, hip hop. I'm from Hillside, I'm saying Hillside, hip hop, just like we talked about in Creed, Adonis, right? A lot of artists are only pushing their talent to get away from the stressful situations that they've been in. So if you've been going through poverty, or if you've been going and you're like, I gotta get out of the situation, I'm getting better on my pen, and they're not going back to address that. And so that person will get nice and you will get your rewards, but you'll spend it still trying to heal that other person. And so without that food, because food and eating right and exercising, like God is so amazing because he already knows, or God already knows, that we're going to come here with triumph. And so your liver and your kidneys assist you through that. Like your lymphatic system assists you. So if you are growing up, if you're in an environment where you're not moving, where you're not sweating, then you're holding that. And so a lot of hip hop artists are thriving in their talents, but they suck in relationships. They can't stay in a group. They can't stay in a relationship. They're have health issues because a lot of the pain and things that they're going through, they're conquering the talent, but they're not conquering the health aspect that comes with what's needed to, take you from this age to that age, or take you from this state to that state, or this country to that country. And so, we don't talk about proper fasting. And if you're a hip hop artist, you should know how to fast. If you are a person that travels all the time, you should have high education on fasting. If you, raw eating and things like that, not because it's vegan, but just because if you're traveling everywhere, it's the easiest thing to get.
Right.
So you can keep nutrients.
Yeah, I mean, you got people like rest in power, DMX, who broke down on stage.
Yes.
And said, I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
Like he literally said that on
Yeah.
stage. He either said, I'm so exhausted or I'm so tired.
Yeah.
But he broke down, started crying, you know what I mean? And it's
Yes.
like it was a real moment. We also got to recognize too that a lot of these artists, they are being used
Yeah.
by the industry.
Yes.
That's giving them drugs.
Yeah.
So that you're not even feeling
Yeah.
the tiredness, Well, it's 3 PM. I was in the studio all night. I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Here, take a pill.
Yeah, that's
what
where
I mean?
it comes
Just
from.
make more money, make more money, make more money. And then shame to the people that's around them
Mhm.
that know they're driving themselves to
Yeah.
an early grave and are not saying anything about it because they're also benefiting
Yeah.
from that person's talent, as you
Yeah.
said. And this is, we seen Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill said
Missy
it.
Elliott.
So
Yeah,
many people spoke about
a lot of them have health issues, and I love all of them. That's why and I'm coming after them. So I like my respect and love for them. That's why I care so much. That's why I'm like, I don't like seeing them go through that. I hate it. And then when I look at the tours, I'm like, how are women touring? Like, how are you touring 6-7 months or 3-4-5 months, and it's all like you don't have space for a break in your menstrual cycle? Like, we're not like learning how to take care of ourselves with our career. So that's why I wanted to do health and hip hop, because it's to show people how to, if you're in hip hop, you need to be taking care of yourself in this way. And you'll see a big difference in most people if they actually took care of themselves and built in hip hop. We wouldn't have the mainstream garbage that we have out now, because you wouldn't have to kind of teeter-totter to that, because
just put stuff out.
Yeah, just to make money, because you'll feel good. And so you'll be like, oh, I have enough energy to make music, but now I also have connects. I can do this, I can do that, because you have organic energy. Your brain thinks completely different when you cater your health to your career. When you cater your career into your health, it's you're gonna sell your body, you're gonna sell your soul at some point.
You know what else too? I dare say too that the music may, this is just a theory, may even evolve. Because if you're in go mode for a decade and you're not doing things like being home with your family and evolving as a man or evolving as a woman, because all you're doing is being drugged up and pumping out music, the music may even mature as an art. I mean, let's keep it real. You have artists in their late 30s that's making music, and I get it. It's all about money, right? They want to sell to a certain genre and a certain audience, I should say. But they're making music like as if and carrying themselves as if they were 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I think that life will mature you.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, not to say that a man who doesn't have a family is not mature. I'm not saying that, right? But I will say that when you're a man that goes through certain processes of life, like having a family.
Yes.
See, when you just gotta take care of yourself, I'm sorry to tell you, it's a whole different world when you then have to be responsible for yourself, your loved one, your children. I'm telling you, you are in a different pressure cooker. And it's all good. I'm not judging like mine is better. It's just I understand that, especially as a man in this stage of life. But so I think also that the music will evolve. And it's so important the work that you're doing, because I'm gonna tell you, Dead Prez, the album, Let's Get Free.
I love that album.
Besides the knowledge of self in that album, but also the references to being healthy, is part of the reason why True is who he is.
Wow.
That's how important the message in hip hop is. I'm telling you. That shout out to Stick, shout out to M1, and that whole Dead Prez movement.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And they came at a time where like conscious music was making money. You know what I mean? So they were able to do that. But again, when you're chasing dollars, now you're also chasing a certain message in music.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't want to do it.
Even if you don't want to do it.
I think it was what's my man name from Atlanta, man? That everybody starts with an F. Ah, man. He used to be down with the Dungeon Family, Future.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think Future admitted he doesn't even drink lean.
Yeah.
But he talks about lean in his music.
Yeah.
To me, that is so hypocritical, and I think it's terrible that he does that.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, I think, be honest in your music.
Yeah.
And some people may say, well, it's just art. He could say whatever. I'm telling you, True's personal opinion. I do think that the art should be honest in comparison to the person, especially when you know the community's being impacted in a negative way, bro.
Absolutely.
If you know people are following you, I mean, it's so deep, because you got people that don't have fathers in their home, right? So they look at these men as father figures or as something to model themselves.
Absolutely.
So, bro, if you know it's causing havoc and destruction in the community, say something about it at the very least. You ain't got to be no preacher, but keep it real.
Yeah. And the thing is that when I say sell your soul, when I say sell your body, I literally mean to your own wants and not your needs. I don't mean to like some mythological.
I get it.
I'm literally mean just to your wants instead of your needs. So, but like the thing about with the Future situation is like, it's not like different than us doing work that we don't want to do for a lower income. And so you can sell your soul for millions of dollars because you don't want to work, you don't want to put certain work ethics in, or you don't want to follow a certain discipline or follow a certain amount of rules. So you're going to sell your soul and do these certain things. Or you can sell your soul for $13 an hour, $20 an hour, because you don't want to do the stuff that are the talents that are within you, because you don't want to face the discipline and the hard work that it takes to become a better version of yourself. And so it's on both aspects. It's just that his message is in hip hop and yours is for a company.
That's fire. And I appreciate that.
And it's yours for a company. But it's not different. And so that's why I merge health and hip hop, because it's not like people will say like, oh, these artists are doing this, that, and the third, but they're not doing anything different than you're just doing yours on a personal level, but it affects your family. Yeah. And they're doing it on a level where it affects everyone because they're putting their music out. Yeah. But everyone, and when it comes to hip hop, everybody's doing these things because they're exhausted. Like, even when it comes to the music, like, deep down inside, right? I'm sure that a lot of artists know for a fact what they actually would really want to do. But a lot of people become artists because of the things that they went through. So it's like, if I went through poverty, because we don't talk about stress management enough, we will just transfer that energy to something else.
Indeed.
So it's like, okay, if I have a problem, like I heard Gunna say this, Gunna say this, and he was like, man, like when he was going through that YSL situation, was it YSL? What's the group name? What's the group name? It was YSL,
talking
right?
About
I can't.
Yeah, I don't really listen to that music, but I know who you're talking about.
I believe it's YSL, if I'm not mistaken, with the Young Thug situation. And I remember his quote, and it was like, and it affected me because it like, I'm very emotional, right? So I was hurt when I read it because I'm like, damn, I feel for this brother, like. And he was saying that, I seen people get shot. I seen, people get robbed and all these different things in my community. And I, went to my pad and I became a better artist. Like, but these things have nothing to do with each other. You should be becoming a better artist strictly because you want to become a better artist. If you're seeing, or if we're seeing things in our communities that we shouldn't be seeing, like if people are getting killed, if people are getting robbed, we need to be addressing the issues. We don't need to be ignoring it and becoming better in another area. That's not solving the problem. We need to be directly going to the issue and getting rid of it. So when most artists are going through certain things, like even when J. Cole said it, like I heard him say, Chris Brown, I think there was like violence. I don't want to misquote him, but I think he was seeing certain things in his household and he became a singer, like, or put his energy into becoming a better singer. Because a lot of times we'll go through certain things, and to bypass that, we think it's okay to become better in other areas. Like, for instance, the same thing with me. I seen my father go through a certain situation, and now I want to become this thing, right? And I think that that's important, but I still have to address what seeing my father have a heart attack, what that actually did to me. I should not only use just my pain to become better. I should also address what caused the pain. Like, and that's what a lot of us do in our situations, especially with celebrities. A lot of celebrities are, as nice as they are, R. Kelly is a prime example of that. Like, he went through a lot of detrimental things, and look how great his music was. And so sometimes when some people are so successful, it actually scares me, because I'm like, dang, like, were they just successful because they just simply wanted to be successful, or does that success come from a large amount of detrimental factors, and we think that is okay as a human in society? And I don't think it's wrong, but I don't think that we should just only thrive off of negativity to win. And I think that we live in such a masculine dominated world that that's what we're doing. And like, it's crazy, because if you look at any of the memes, I seen the Spider-Man kid and it was like, oh, he had this disease and then he became Spider-Man. I'm like, why are we comparing the two? Like, they don't have anything to do with each other. Like, I'm not trying to say to not overcome these things, but what I'm saying is that why do we keep comparing that to the success? If he wants to be a good actor, he should just be going to get better in those skill sets. We don't need to drag his difficulties and all these things into that. And where did that become okay? Like, yeah. And that's what we're doing in our communities. Like, we're taking the things that we went through, and instead of fixing them and addressing them, we're becoming better, or and honestly, we're not even becoming better. We're just going to get money.
We're masking it
Yeah, we're masking it by going to get more money. It's not even that we're becoming better. Even with women, a lot of women have these degrees, and we have a lot of degrees, not because we want to go and get degree. We want to be better in the area. People don't want to go to the NBA because they love basketball. They want to go to the NBA because they want to buy their mom a house. They want to be famous. It has nothing to do with the actual skill set in its in its natural format. So
Yeah.
that's a big thing that we have to start addressing in our communities. And if you're not going to address them, we need to be on at least a cleansing diet to address it on its own. So at least allow us to be eating right and fasting, because at least your liver and kidneys can flush some of those things out for you. But if you are going to have these issues in life and just become richer, or whether it's financially or richer in a piece of paper or richer in another area in life, you have to have a spacing to cleanse that, because it will address. And that's where you'll get drug addictions. That's where you'll get alcohol. That's where you'll get poor choices in your partner, or poor choices in you're slipping in all these different areas, because we're not addressing the root issue. We don't do that.
You know who's a perfect example of that?
Who?
Mike Tyson.
Mm.
Mike Tyson will tell you, I became the fighter that I am because I was scared.
Yeah.
Because of, and I read his book. He has a phenomenal book, by the
I
way.
need to read that.
Definitely. We'll put a link in the description to get Mike Tyson's book. Shout out to him. But yeah, he became who he was because he was scared, and some of the traumatic that I know, because I read the book, some of the traumatic experiences that he went through.
Yeah.
And then what he did, to your point, after making all the money, the success, he was on drugs.
Yeah.
He was relationships crumbling because he realized there was something that inner child
it's
had to get healed.
Yes.
Which is now he's at a place where he is now. He seems like he's happy. He seems like he's happier and whatnot. And he's also even admitting, like, yo, man, I was scared. I was in fear.
Yeah. That's where, And I don't think that we shouldn't use that. I'm not saying to not use that.
But in addition to.
We need to also address, because while he was becoming a better fighter, imagine him becoming a better fighter using that, but then getting therapy.
Indeed.
At the same time, eating the right foods, fasting, like talking about these situations. Imagine because I don't want to take away from anything that he's accomplished, but just imagine, because because we all do it, but just imagine us as people.
Right.
With going to get the skill sets that we are going to get, and separating them completely from the things that we go through.
You know what it is too, that as a people, we have been forced to be on survival mode.
Yes, absolutely.
For so long. It's like, what? Heal what? I don't got time for that. I need to do this, do that. As I start to land the plane, as I like to say, I have one more question. Out of all the artists that you've worked with, and I've seen, your resume, you've worked with a few. Who was your favorite and why?
I want to say my favorite is Jazz the Rapper. Shout out to Jazz. I'm trying to figure out why I want to say she's my favorite. It's a bunch of reasons. I'm trying to figure out which point I want to make. But the reason why she's my favorite artist that I helped is, one, because she, I could see how she's one of the greatest battle rappers, period. Forget female. I don't like even separating battle rappers. She's one of the best rappers, period. And I say that because when I show her how to eat, she doesn't ask a lot of questions now because we've been working together for 5 or 6 years. But in the beginning, she was asking questions like, how do I should I have this? What should I do? How can I make this better? And not only was she asking questions, but she really was putting her all into relearning how to cook, to where she I gluten-free this, gluten-free that, different recipes, actually putting her all into that. And this is my personal opinion, goes back to what I talked about earlier. She's also someone who's grew up with her mom and her dad in the house with full throttle respect. And she never told me this is what I think. This is my own opinion, but that's how I grew up. And I have friends that didn't grow up like that, and I have friends that do grow up like that. And I say that to say that there's a difference in how they attack, when people grow up trusting their parents, how they attack goals than some who don't and aren't over it. Because you can grow up not trusting your parents and get healed and be over it and move in the same way as if you did. But people who haven't gotten over it. And so she's one of my favorite because I can tell, like, one, she went to school. I could tell that. And not because, like, I'm just guessing that she went to school. She did. But the fact of, like, the studying, the asking the questions, like, that's going beyond. Like, that's going above and beyond. And that shows in her progress in rap. Like, everything is above and beyond every time she raps. And that's her all the time with everything. Above and beyond. Like, to me, she has one of the, like, best, like, relationships when it comes to just overall, like, rap. Like, she has deep friendships with people all over the world where certain groups couldn't click with each other, and that shows. And I think that just goes back to, like, having a good strong foundation, like comfort, and being able to, like, fully leave out of your nest with your from your parents with joy, like, and happiness and feeling complete, and then leaving. A lot of us are rushed out of that. And so she taught me that because I was able to compare that. So she's my favorite artist.
You know, that makes me happy that you experienced that for yourself, and even for that sister. And the only word that's coming up, it saddens me because I wonder who I would have been if I grew up in a situation like that. You know, I'm grateful for my life, and I know that my circumstance and situation made me the man that I am today. And I did my best to break that cycle. But it makes me wonder, who would I have been if I grew up in that? And you know, it is what it is. You know, and then I do what I can, but I have to be honest and say that. You know, I have tears in my eyes even just thinking about it. You know, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you have that experience, especially because I think that it's a plague in our community.
Yes.
The dysfunctional homes,
the
breakup of the home,
Yeah.
the men not being present
Yeah.
in the households.
Yeah.
I compare it to a plague, and it's just something that I think that once we get that right, everything else will start to fall in place, or should I say, rise in place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Thank you for sharing that.
or just knowing, like, that occurred so you can get the proper, like, release.
Right. And work, because I've done a lot of work on myself.
And work, yes.
Indeed,
Work,
indeed,
release, and a strategy towards, okay, when I don't, believe in myself, I have to understand, like, I'm rebuilding trust. Because the first place that you would get trust at is your parents.
Indeed.
Before you even learn to trust yourself, you trust your parents. And the thing is, it's like, it's not always like a bad thing or a good thing. We can have love and respect, but then we can just not be okay with the situations we end up in as a younger person.
And I want to say this, my mother, te quiero mucho, she did her best. She did her best with the resources that she had.
Yes.
We grew up in a very hostile environment because of our income and whatnot, and she did her best. I do want to say that.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge my mother in that way.
Yeah. And I do want to share one more thing. If anybody is going through this or has been through this and you've never done a cleanse or you've never started to eat right, please do so, because you will start to, I've seen, like, where people who have went through these same situations, but the trust rebuilds on your own, just because now your brain and your body and your blood and your organs are actually functioning at the best opportunity that it has, because you're giving it sleep, you're giving it real food. And that's the best place that you can be in position to hear yourself and to correct your own thoughts. And when you don't trust, because when you start to say, okay, I'm not going to eat these donuts anymore, I'm not going to eat that anymore, you start to be able to hear your thoughts better. So if it goes from, man, like, oh man, I gotta start eating better, and so I'm not gonna do the sweets, and I'm not gonna do too much sweets. I don't want to take them all away, but I'm gonna do better sweets or not as much sweets. And it goes from, okay, then you get tested, and then it's like, all right, I said I wasn't gonna eat that donut, and then it's like haunting you, like, oh my God, I really want to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Oh my God, I want a cheesesteak. Oh my God, and then amazingly over time you get better to the point where you ride right past the pizza spot, you ride right past the Dunkin' Donuts. And so the transition of going in there every Sunday, every Wednesday, every day at work to minimizing it, then it being obsolete, like that thought process becomes normal in your everyday life. Like as far as being able to hear the right thoughts of, all right, like I really want that donut, I really want that donut, and ignoring it. And then after 15, 20 minutes, you see that, oh, I actually am all right. Like I'm not even thinking about it no more. Then the next day you happy about that. Like, yo, I can't believe I didn't eat like any sugars. And then that develops into a different thought. And so I think that like it also teaches us how to hear ourselves and our real needs, no matter how difficult it is, no matter what the situation is, picking the correct thought for later, because discipline is not for now. Discipline is for later.
Indeed. And what people have to understand is that once you start to eat better and you're moving, what happens is you start to feel better. And once you start to feel better, you can now think better. So I know that the mind comes before the body. I'm very clear. But if you really study yourself, you'll see that when you don't feel good, no matter how strong your mind is, it's going to be tough to make rational choices and decisions.
Absolutely.
It's going to be tough to even think clearly. So sometimes the easier route is through the body.
Yeah.
Because now you feel better, now you could think better, and then you build some of those momentum. I was just telling my son-in-law, he because of some situations in life, he feels like he lost some of his confidence. So he was like, yo, how can I develop self-confidence? I said, okay, do some challenging stuff. Because the power of momentum. And do it first small, right? And then as you start to pick up momentum and start to build confidence, I think people think like even with discipline, it's like this thing in the sky that just comes from wherever. Nah, you got to cultivate that thing by, like you said, about the donut example, testing yourself. What would you say is the most important thing that being an entrepreneur has taught you?
I'm just gonna say the first answer that comes. Patience.
And definitely. I definitely got that one.
Patience. And we're not taught to have that. And when I say patience, I mean in all areas of life. Because I think that like with patience, it's really, you can't have patience without the art of letting go. Because like usually if you don't have patience, because you're not letting go of you're not letting go of the outcome that you want right now, or you're not letting go of an old habit or expectation. And so what patience taught me is to have a connection with letting go a lot, especially as an entrepreneur, is letting go. Because it doesn't matter how much work you do, you never control the fruit of the labor. You just can control the labor. And the fruit comes in so many different forms. It's not just the form that you want it to come in. It comes in meeting people. It comes in sucking at first and then getting better in the area. That's fruit. That's income. Even if the income is not right now, it's building it to come later. So patience is it, because I think we lose the art of letting go, like in flow. So I want to say patience, because that keeps me connected with letting go and flowing. Because it's like I have a lot of things that I have in my head, right? So I have like music I'm dropping, and any video that I've shot has been from, oh, I want to shoot a video, and letting it go. Like to the point where I dropped a video on my birthday, and one of my friends was like, oh, you should have a unicorn in the video. And I was like, all right, like I want to have unicorn, but I didn't have the budget at the time because I paid for a business school. I was like, dang, like I'm overthinking, like, okay, how am I gonna get him into the video? Because like a club type of song, and I just was like, forget it, patience, let it go. Like, and ironically, I was shooting the video and he was walking down the street.
Wow.
And I said, oh my God. Like I was shot the video at a festival, and he was walking down the street, and I already shot the video, and I saw him. And I was like, what in the festival, the 24 Hours of Peace is a long strip. Why did I see him at the point that I saw him? And I said, and I was like, oh, can you be in my video? Sure.
Wow.
And I reshot him with the video and I got him in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, the art of patience. Because I was about to figure it out and all this. And if I would probably would have tried to figure it out, I probably would have figured it out into a way of saying, I ain't doing it. But because I just let it go, because I remember patience and letting it go, just came to me. So
yeah,
that's a major thing when it comes to success, is like, just do the work. Like, just do the work. Please just do the work. But
I love that. I love that you brought up that there's other forms of payments.
Yes.
Comes with the journey of an entrepreneur. And I always say, if you're having trouble overcoming instant gratification, start a business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
It'll teach you real quick. What's your favorite book and why?
Yeah, my favorite book is Sister Soldier Midnight. That's my favorite book because the discipline that young man shows in that book is what I strive for, as in a female version, in a female way.
Yeah.
So Sister Soldier Midnight is my favorite book because she just talks about how a young man is 14 and how he stays on point even with all the distractions that go on in America, and with all the necessities, he stays on point no matter what. So that's what I love about that book, and that's why it's my favorite, because I'm about staying on point. Yeah, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite books.
Love it. 100 years from now, as people reflect on the legacy that you left,
yeah,
what would you want that legacy to be?
That Kenisha helped me with patience. Like, patience is like, I want to name my daughter that. I want to name my daughter Patience when I have a kid. Yeah. Because if I have a daughter, but yeah, I want to name my daughter Patience, because I just think we lack feminine energy as women and men. Like, everything is masculine dominant, and we have both. And men, it shows up differently, and y'all use feminine energy different, and women use feminine energy different. But we don't use it in the right way. Like, you cannot have masculine energy without using the feminine energy. Like, you need the feminine energy is what gives the masculine energy power. Masculine energy is what gives feminine energy power. So when you do the work, allow the feminine energy to match that. Because if you just keep using masculine, you will masculine energy yourself into drugs, into exhaustion, into depression, because you're just what I want. I want it now. Aggressive now. And you need letting go. You need flow. That's like, what's the point of always grinding if you don't allow things to come to you? Like, because you're just going to get there burnt out. You're not even going to enjoy. That's like, you ever hear people make a big achievement and the first thing they say is, I got a long way to go. Dang, could we just please celebrate what we got going on now? Why are we talking about like, that's how I know we are in a highly, highly masculine drive, and it's very, very unhealthy. And when I say it's unhealthy for men and women, it really, really is. Because you cannot have masculine energy without patience. You cannot have masculine energy without flowing, without creativity, without letting go. You will drain yourself, or you'll get cheated. Like, you'll either cheat yourself or someone's going to cheat you, because you're not going to be able to pay attention. You just want to hurry up and go now. And yeah. So patience would be what I want people to say that I've influenced them to be. Is patient.
Coming from where I come from, I know a lot of people that's in prison or dead because of lack of patience. Mm-hmm. But I do want to say this, want to end on this note, that I'm glad that I was patient, because I've been wanting to have this conversation with you.
Yeah.
I want to say, man, at least a decade.
Yeah. Remember when I saw you at the vegan pizza spot?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And ever since I saw you instruct your first class, it was by the women's section on the top floor or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. Thank you for your time and energy. You're doing
thank you for having
amazing work. I'm really proud of you, sis.
Thank you. Same to you. And I can't wait to have you on my health and hip hop show.
Oh, you know that. Let's set it up. Last words for your audience. Please look at the camera.
Yeah.
And tell them how to find you and all of that.
Yeah. So how to find me is you can just health and hip hop. Just put that in. That's my page. And you'll find my other pages from there. But health and hip hop. And my final words are patience and sleep. Patience and sleep, please. Like we need that as humans. Yeah. We need patience and we need rest. Please do not sleep on the patience and the rest. Like that's vital. because when we have patience and we have sleep, we just feel great. You can see way more and you can see under your feet the answers that are right there when we have the energy to and when we're patient enough to allow them to come to us.
If you know any man or woman that could benefit from this conversation, and I say it's any man and woman, all men and women can benefit from this conversation, don't forget to share this episode. Please subscribe, smash that like button and all of that good stuff. Let's get it. Peace and power.